Hello everyone. We are live. We are live again. So tonight's Friday, as in Friday party night. We do have a coaching session today that I had to reschedule from yesterday. So Gianni was nice enough to accommodate it for us. And okay, one of my gloves here. And I'm just taking my notebook here to take notes. So he's gonna be online in a few seconds, I think, maybe like a minute or two. And in the meantime, I'm gonna just share the stream and some different YouTube channels. Tonight, after the coaching session, we're gonna have the party night. Party night! Racing random places, random cars, just to have fun. So I do hope you guys enjoy it as well. And I see he pinged me now. So let me just post this in a few different groups. All right, Gianni's gonna be here in a second. Ready. We are ready. Let me bring to the main screen as well.
Marcela Hagaman.
Hi Alan,
Said.
how are you, brother?
Hello, sir.
ONOS Acqui me
How are
and
you?
Elliot.
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yes, good, thank you, good, thank you. Have you started the stream yet? Yeah, started the stream. Yeah, I was looking before and I was like, oh, is he streaming yet?
I just
was
I
like,
just
couldn't see
started.
just yet.
I just
It just started?
started. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I know. Oh, that's good. How's your week been, alright?
Good, man. It's been good. Like it's like in iRacing has been an interesting week because I have been faster than I'm used to being faster, like in these
Yep,
groups. I
yep,
also feel that
yep.
a lot of the kind of the aliens have opted out from
Yes,
this specific track this week.
sure, yeah,
So I think
yeah,
that's playing a role there as well.
yeah,
But in terms of even pace, like compared to the top like fastest laps who are there, and also
yes,
practicing early helped me be very
yes,
consistent when people are not being
yes.
consistent. So like I can qualify in a fast
Mm,
lap, I can keep the fast pace during the race. So
sure,
it's been like very good in terms of
yep,
performance, and
yep,
also like being able to. I I always try to connect all the dots in everything we have talked so far, and
of
try to
course.
be conscious, and that has been like super helpful.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, no, it's been really cool to see. I mean, watching your race the other day where you put it on pole and you got the win there. It's really great to see because to see where we started, only what 3-4 weeks ago now, and to see where you've come to in such a short time, it just shows you that you can be stuck in one area for such a long time, and all it literally takes is for a few little core components to start adjusting and start changing, and you can already start to see results and you can start to see adjustments. And again, like you said, you start to focus on your driving and you start to pick up on little instances that you're doing, or you maybe need adjustments or refinement and all that sort of stuff. And that's really going to be the big thing going forward now, is just refinement. And I think the hard thing is that obviously, well, the good thing about the rookie series in one way is that obviously the tracks every season are basically the same. They never veer off for different parts. So the thing is that once you're running the same series consistently, um, you basically do the same tracks over and over again, which is the reason why I know these tracks very well. Is in my past time, running kind of Mazdas quite a lot when I was a bit younger, and when I first started, of course, running the BMWs, running obviously cars like Formula V, Formula Ford. Um, across all four of those series, you're all running pretty much thereabouts the same tracks, just if in a different kind of schedule cycle. So it's kind of like you eventually visit every track, you eventually, touch base on every circuit, you get an idea, okay, like we've talked about, what corner do I use this technique? What corner do I use that technique? And that's the really sort of big thing. But, every season you come back, you find a new gain, and then eventually get to a point where, like we've talked about, you just go to a track on a certain week, you get up the pace pretty much within 5 to 10 laps, if even that, 5 laps at a maximum nearly. And then, you go about your week from there. But yeah, that's really a good thing. And then of course, when you go to like a bigger series like GT3s and obviously everything above D class, of course, usually the schedule tends to change quite commonly every season. So one season you might visit a track, next season you might not visit a track. So to expand, I guess, on your knowledge of circuits on that level, obviously that's what can take a little bit longer. But like I said, once you've been through all 12 weeks in the rookie series, usually it gets a little bit easier just to be able to apply, analyze, and just kind of know where you're going wrong if something is going wrong, and you know where you're going right as well because you've just done it so many times in repetition. So yeah, no, look, I mean, Okayama, and obviously with Winton, I mean, ending out at Winton, how do you feel about it as a whole? I mean, of course, yeah, got a win there, which was absolutely amazing. It was good to see how you were reacting in the motions. It's always funny seeing from the outside, like how as a driver, you react to things like, your heart rate increases quite a lot, then
Yeah.
it sort of tames down, then little moments happen, and it gets close to the end, and you start getting a little bit nervous, and then your heart increases again. But in the car, you don't really think about it. I definitely don't think about it, but from the outside, you can see it. It's really cool to see because it shows the true emotion, and it shows that you always care about what you're doing, which is obviously the most amazing thing. But yeah, look, how do you feel about it as a whole? And I guess from last week, obviously after the conversation we had about that technique adjustment for corner by corner, how have you felt that's traveled along? And of course, coming into Okayama as well, did you feel like that was something that was being applied at the same time as well?
Yeah, so I think regarding like Winton itself, I think like breaking down the three types of different brake patterns that we had there, that helped
Yeah.
a lot because I was always thinking. So like I told you, like 2 years ago or like a year and a half ago, I did a BMW M school, and
Yeah.
what they taught us there, like it's always, of course, like for people who are starting. So like you brake as hard as you can in a straight line, and then as you turn in, you release the brakes. They didn't call it a
Yes.
trail brake, but like you just brake in a straight line, and as you turn in, you release it. And I think that's like
Yeah.
kind of step one, right? Like knowing to
Yeah.
start braking in a straight line. And since then,
Yes.
I've been evolving, and now like having
Yes.
these new things and understanding that this is actually something, like this is not a mistake. This is not that
Yeah.
I'm doing something wrong. It's like this
Yeah.
corner. So there's I think it's turn 1, 2, 3, maybe turn 4. That's the one that
Yeah.
people go for the dive to try
Yes.
overtakes there.
Yes.
That one like is one that you first have to brake to a certain level, like 35%, because the car
Yeah.
comes bouncing and you need like to get in a straight line. So go to 35. Then as you get
Yes.
closer to the hard braking zone, you go to 45. And as you
Yes.
turn in, you start releasing it and turning in.
Yes.
Which like for
Correct.
me before last session, it would be a mistake, right? I'm going up on the
Yeah.
brakes and then down. I should not be doing
Correct.
this. And just having
Yeah.
that understanding is helped me
Yeah.
during the races, during practice. And when I started
Yeah.
Okayama, I started like, okay, the first thing I'm gonna try to do here is every single corner I take, I'm gonna think like what other corners that I've taken so far that are similar. Like this, does this feel like the bus
Right.
stop from
Amazing.
Charlotte? Does
Yeah.
it like feel like the Winton turns, like the corners?
Yes.
So I was trying to do that
Yes.
exercise, and it was super helpful. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I was super happy with and proud of was like after I got my first like fast lap in the first day, the following day I came back to look in VRS and do the analysis, and
Yeah.
our brake shapes are very similar in every single
They are.
turn, which I was like,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
nailed like which type of corner this is. Of course, like there's a lot
Yes.
to learn from that and
Yes.
try to get
Yes.
closer to what you are doing. But
Yes.
at least in my brain, I can already see something and problem solve myself, at least at this
Yes.
level, to make the right
Yes.
decision and just be faster.
Yes, for sure. And I think that's really the biggest thing. I mean, up until this point now, really looking at like a lap this week at Okayama, of course, as we talked about yesterday briefly with the conditions, conditions in mind. But at the end of the day, like the biggest thing is just like once those little things are refined, and I think that's what the big conversation is today, is just about refinement of everything that we've kind of, followed on from last week, I suppose. Because unfortunately, when you look at corners like here at Okayama, and we'll talk about it here today, I'm sure there's a lot of points that you felt, throughout your laps that you've done so far in practice that you know, realistically, every corner that you come out of here at Okayama, you're feeling like, yeah, it's all about how quickly you can get back to full throttle realistically. And I'm sure there's been a lot of cases where you've done your braking, you tried off the brake, you pick up the power, but in some cases, it's just like you feel like that on throttle point is just dragging along quite a lot, and you're not able to get just back up to 100% as quickly as you kind of want to. And usually, yeah, it's due to things like you've dropped the brake slightly too early, or maybe just gone slightly too deep into a corner, or little things like that. And I suppose that's what, you know, can obviously cost you a little bit of time. But again, like we mentioned, that's about refinement of what we've discussed already. So I think, you know, that's really the big thing. And I guess in one way or another, like in terms of overall structure with this car, and I guess just overall racing structure, I think, you know, there's not really sort of much more that you need to kind of know from a ground level realistically. I mean, in the sense of actual base understanding of what you need to do. I mean, it starts with, yeah, of course, you know, like we talked about initially, not getting into the ABS. So of course, bringing your pressure down to around, you know, 65-ish%, always being below that, right? But as we've learned as well, you don't always have to hit that 65%. You know, you can always come back below it. Then if it's, of course, making sure that we're not dropping the brake too early, you know, making sure that we're kind of holding the pressure for as long as we can, and then trailing off at the latter part, and obviously getting back on the power. And then of course, then you've got things like the different brake structures that we talked about last week. You know, you can either have a flat top in the trail, or you can have a peak in the trail, or you can, you know, you can kind of have a reverse sort of trail where you go up sort of soft and then you hit the hardest point at the end. But realistically, other than that, it's all about just trying to, you know, understand all those things, continuously repeat all those things, but mainly continuously learn which works the best at certain corners at certain tracks, and that's where it really does start to come down to. But I think, you know, like I've always mentioned too, you know, this structure that we understand in iRacing, it's basically global. You know, between everything that's got a roof on its head, you're pretty much doing there or thereabouts the exact same thing. The thing is with iRacing, and you know, as again you've experienced in the real world, you know, with the lemon stuff, you know, just driving a real life car on a racetrack. The thing is that, you know, brake pedals, like models of brake pedals, you know, but different sort of brake pads, you know, different brake discs, all these different sort of philosophies and kind of structures of a brake pedal, they're different from car to car. You know, it's not going to be the same from a GTP LMP1 car to a LMP3 car. The LMP3 car is going to be different to a Ferrari Challenge. The Ferrari Challenge will be different to an MX-5. It'll be different to the BMW. That changes. You know, the one thing that we always know stays the same on iRacing is we have the exact same brake pedal every single car that we drive, and it always stays consistent. So the thing is that obviously iRacing hasn't, you know, obviously hasn't ever developed that. There's no way to kind of feel from car to car that there's a different brake pedal. So in that sense, if you understand one sort of structure really, really well, it allows you to go and literally drive any car on the service and pretty much do there or thereabouts the same thing. Obviously, keeping in mind some cars have more downforce, you know, less downforce, you know, more slidey, more grippy, all the little qualities like that. But the way that we get on the brakes, hold it to under 65%, hold your pressure, trail off, it all basically stays exactly the same. So it's just about continuously learning, growing, and refining what we kind of keep talking about here. And it's just about, you know, continuously trying to get the most out of it at every single corner. Now, yeah, look, really, really impressed. I mean, even with the of course, you know, the little bit of difference in terms of temperature, of course, that's going to maybe, you know, give us a couple tenths back. But in all honesty, like to see how close, like you said, we're looking at everything in terms of structure, in terms of application, is really, really sort of great. I think, as I mentioned a few times already today, refinement. That's what it's all going to sort of be about. Because I think there's a few moments where either I noticed just from corner to corner, either where maybe just in a corner like this, you can see already we're braking a little bit too hard. Maybe there's a couple corners, as we'll see, where we're just dropping the brake a little bit too early, and then because of that, it's mean that as you get back on the throttle, you've got to kind of linger at about 80, 85, 90%, getting up to 100%. And I'm sure as you felt that, you're kind of in your mind just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe I should have held the brake a little bit longer, or just moments where we're doing our little like peak and trough, where maybe the peak and then the trough just all happened a little bit too quickly, and we kind of just need to hold the peak just maybe a little bit more and just round it over. Like for example, at turn 3 at Winton there, that little right hand kink, just corner like that. The same things in some of the corners here, just for a little bit longer, because they are actually, I guess, in some cases a little bit more of a, of a long-winded corner, I guess, in comparison to the one that's at Winton. So just hearing those things initially there, are they some couple of sort of factors that maybe you felt from your practice so far this week that you definitely realized from your driving?
Yeah, like one of the things that you said that I've been trying to be more intentional is not holding the throttle at the same like level. So every time I do it,
Yeah.
and I kind of like one of the things that I noticed, and I might have to like adjust something here in my physical space, is like the way
Yeah.
my foot is positioned and what I do in the pedal. I usually go like very fast, like from 0 to like 70, 80%. And that's
Okay.
when I start like trying to go to 100%. And a lot of
Okay.
times when I see your curve, like you have full control since like 0% all the way to 100%.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like I thought about either like having a positioning my foot like closer or further away from the pedal, or like having
Yeah.
a stronger spring that's gonna give me more resistance. Because right now like I
Yes.
barely touch it and I feel it goes like very far already, and
Really.
it's in the
Okay.
full extent of the pedal already. So like it also might be a bad
Right.
habit. It might also be like muscle memory telling me to do something that's wrong. But I've been trying to be more
Yes.
intentional in having like a smoother throttle curve
Input.
as yes, I'm doing the turns. I'm
Yeah.
Xing the
Well,
turns. Yeah.
no. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I definitely think that it could be something to do with habit, as you mentioned, to be honest with you, because I think, thinking about it back in the past, really, I mean, what you've always been used to up until, the last couple of weeks is you've been braking really, really hard, really, really late, right? And then every time you get back on the power, what does it prompt you to do? Get back on it very aggressively because you washed off too much speed, right? So it could just maybe in one way or another be something that you've been, yes, so used to that it's just something that's kind of evolving into what we're trying to do now. But of course, now we're kind of doing it in a more sort of balanced and consistent, structured way that it has to kind of adjust a little bit. So do you feel like that maybe could be a factor to it all as well?
As you were saying, like it might be the main factor. Like it might be that
Yeah.
just like because I did a coaching session last year, and that
Yes.
was one of the things that the coach said. Like you always go from 0 to 100 immediately,
Uh-huh.
and if you look at the pros, they have like a smoother curve. And he said
Yeah.
something about like usually I go like all the way to like 70%, 80%, and then I go the rest. But even then, like
Yeah.
recently looking his videos, like he doesn't go
Mm.
as fast. Like he doesn't do like 0 70 as an
Yeah.
input. He goes slowly. He gets fast to the like 70,
Yeah.
80%, and then
Yeah.
slower to 100. But it's
Yeah.
not like on off to 70 and then super slow to 100. So I
Yeah.
think it might
Yeah.
be like a bad habit that I developed like in the previous, like in the last few months.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And again, it makes sense, and it's definitely something that I see quite a lot, and that a lot of drivers do is that we say, okay, like now we're doing a different structure. So for example, we're braking softer and we're braking earlier, but the thing is that in the physical sense, we're doing that and it's showing, but there's kind of background habits in terms of what you think mentally, and I guess just what your philosophy and your structure and just your application more so is being used to for so long that you're doing something else, but the same thing that you used to be doing is still sort of happening in one sense or another. So yeah, I definitely think like that could be a big factor, but for sure as well, you do want to feel like with everything, I guess on the sim and I guess even in the real world, um, resistance is key. Having resistance in everything that you kind of, everything that you basically put application on is key. If it's your force feedback, you want to have a fairly strong resistance with that. If it's your brake pedal, you want to basically have as hard as you feel like you can go in a physical sense with resistance in that. Obviously, the throttle pedal, of course, like you said, you can change springs and stuff like that. I've never changed a spring in my pedal; it's always stayed the same. But I even to this day, I still feel like I've got quite a fair good resistance in the pedal as well. But you don't want to feel like anything is too light. Like you don't want to feel like anything is too easy to do, because yeah, you kind of because we're lacking so much feeling in on the sim, in comparison to the real world, we need to have as much kind of feedback as possible. We need to have everything giving as much response as we sort of can. So it might be definitely something to look into. I think the main thing is that it's looking relatively sort of quite decent in the sense. I think it's more so rather than the bottom end of the sort of the kind of on throttle trail, it's more so just the top end. But the reason why the top end is kind of lingering a little bit more is, like I said, because either maybe we're braking too late and then just maybe a little bit too hard, or we're braking kind of early into the right pressure, but we just drop the brake too soon, or we don't hold the brake for long enough, and you trail off and try to get back on the power. it's okay initially, but as we know so well in the BMW here, as you kind of get to that 80-ish% sort of mark, that's where it's either like, okay, well, either I can continue going from 80% to 100%, or it's either the case of like I get to 80% and I just have to hold, because if I keep going, I'm just going to understeer, right?
Yep.
So it's just about making those little sort of changes in that sort of sense. So I think, you know, T1 for you around here was awesome. You know, I saw this one yesterday and I was like, you know what, this is absolutely sort of brilliant. Love what you were doing. Love this sort of approach. You can kind of see that, you know, the peak, the holding of the brake, the trail off of the brake, and the getting back onto the power was relatively quite good here. I think the only thing that, you know, as we've talked about in the past, that you're probably going to have to keep in mind. And again, I'd like to hope that the sort of the laps that I did were in relation to what the week was like, because it was a little bit like last week. I think like initially the lap that I did was like in the twos, and then I think, you know, the fastest laps of the week were in the twos, I think, if I'm not wrong, and then the ones we did were probably like nearly a second faster when we went to catch up for the lesson. So I don't know, the temperatures, as I mentioned yesterday, are so all in and around. Like you can get them right on the dot, or you can be colder, or you can be way too warm. You know, I obviously build setups every single week for you know, all the GT4s, the GT3s, even for this car, for production car, the SimLab Challenge series. But it's kind of like, it's so hard to get it absolutely on the dot, because you can kind of load in one session and it could be maybe, you know, in terms of Fahrenheit, it maybe could be, let's say, you know, like maybe a 70 or 80 degree sort of track temp. And then you might go to the next session and it might be a 90 or 100 degree track temp. And then you might have different wind. You could have different humidity, of course. Setting up static solves that. But usually the forecasted weather, it tends to be the one that's like the most kind of realistic to what you're obviously going to get, because obviously in an official session, it's not static, right? It passes time. So usually when you load in via forecasted, it gives you the most realistic temps to what it should be like. And that's obviously what it gave me here. So yeah, it's strange. It's definitely very strange, but it was also interesting too, because I did actually attempt yesterday to load in to your conditions. So I completely copied it 1-to-1 in VRS, everything exactly the same. It gave you in degrees, obviously in comparison to me, it gave you a 26 degree Celsius track temp. And when I did everything the same time of day, same weather, wind, humidity, everything like that, it gave me a 33 degree track temp, which I was like, how am I getting like a 7 degree warmer track when I've set it up exactly the same? So yeah, it's confusing the way the weather works in iRacing, but you know, nonetheless, it's just about, like we always talk about, having the knowledge of what you need to do, how you need to do it. But as we always say too, if obviously the track gets warmer, you bring your braking back. The pressure doesn't change. You just bring your braking point back. And have you felt like from like track to track, of course, like at Winton, for example, that you experienced that at any point, like coming into some corners, you know, maybe the track was warmer, maybe track's a little bit colder, maybe wind one way, wind was another way. Do you feel like you're starting to get used to just moving your braking point around, but keeping your pressure quite consistent a lot of the time?
Yes, and like even between sessions, sometimes I feel the track like, and sometimes I mentioned in the stream that I feel that the grip is different. I don't know like what's going on, but I've been braking for the entire like previous race exactly here, very consistent.
Yeah.
In my like second, third lap here, that I'm trying to get some pace, I brake at the same point, and I just like completely miss the apex. So like the grip's not here, and then like the next lap, I go like a few meters before, and then I just hit the curb. Like okay, that was too much. Then I try to find that middle point. And that's why I also have been trying to get like the free like practice with no instant points, like the one before the session starts, just to feel how that track feels before racing or before going like to something that's going to count points, just to feel like where the grip is. But it that was because like we talked about this here. So as I was telling you, like I can connect more points now. I can connect better the points. So I know that I don't have to change my braking pattern. My braking pattern is the same. All I'm gonna change is like where I start my input, and that just reduces a lot of the brain like power that I have to use. I'm not trying to problem solve the entire corner. It is just a matter of where do I start, so I hit like consistently what I was hitting before, and after like 2-3 laps, I have like optimized for almost the entire track.
Yep, no, exactly. That's right. And again, you know, that's what you want it to be like in a racing situation, because at the end of the day, as you know, you experienced yesterday when you're leading a race, when you're worrying about the guy behind you, making sure they don't bomb it down your inside. The last thing you're thinking about is that type of stuff. You know, that's the last thing on your mind. You need it to kind of, if you do ever think about it, it needs to literally be like a click of the finger sort of input in your mind. Like it needs to be like, you know, you can't have more than a second to think about it, basically. So, you know, that's why it's all so good to just, yeah, like you're doing, you know, doing a lot of practice, kind of experiencing a lot of different situations, putting yourself in those situations where it maybe doesn't feel comfortable, and saying, okay, well, what did I do to achieve that? That's what I don't want to obviously do in the race, and you keep that in the back of your mind. And that all revolves around coming back to like experiencing where the limit is. But again, like you said, it's just a case of you can literally drive from lap to lap, and it can genuinely change, you know, your braking marker because the wind might have gone a different direction, or the track might have got a degree or two hotter, or something like that. So it's always in and around, moving around, you know, and it's always hard to be consistent with what you're doing, but it's always just good information that, again, like you said, you're learning, you're putting the dots together, you're kind of understanding what you need to do and how you need to adjust if that need be. And that's obviously, you know, what's very important as a driver to be able to do. So that's obviously fantastic. So yeah, again, like I said, man, T1 was really, really good. You know, like I said, I think the big thing that I'll probably say to you that you would feel is that, you know, coming into the week, T1, from my experiences at least with this car and track combo, is that, yeah, this T1 can definitely be a bit of a run around, in the sense of, like, you know, one lap you might feel like you can go a bit deeper, one lap you feel like you can go a little bit earlier, and you know what, that's okay. That is completely okay. You are more than allowed to do that, and if you can feel like you can find that point consistently, then that's great. But I think the big thing is, as we've always mentioned, you're more than welcome to change the braking point whenever you want. It's just, no matter what you do, the brake pressure stays the same. And I think that's always the big thing to remember. And that's something that it seems like you're doing very, very well. Because, I mean, you see here, I'm braking earlier than you, you're braking later than me, but look at our brake pressures. They're basically staying there or thereabouts, exactly the same to each other at a peak. And maybe just you're a little bit, just holding it maybe a little bit harder than me through the back end, but that's obviously because you're going a bit deeper, but it's still relative within, you know, 3 to 4%. So it's nothing crazy, but the initial point is exactly the same. And that's very important. So that was all fantastic. I think the big thing that I probably just will say as a note to mention, and that probably is due to you probably braking a little bit later than I did, you can obviously see how you have a really long kind of holding phase at the back end of the kind of on throttle zone right there. And that's a little bit back to kind of what we talked about before. Not the fact that you're kind of getting on the power very aggressively. It's just more so a sense of, because you've gone in a little bit deeper, the car probably maybe wanted you to have just maybe a little bit more of a trail off phase, maybe just a little bit harder, you know, a little bit earlier in the zone. So maybe somewhere, let's say, for example, around maybe here, it maybe wanted you to have a couple extra percent on the braking pedal, which is always quite hard to kind of know in the moment there. But in the sense of just feeling like the car wasn't, well, the car wasn't really enabling you to get back to full throttle as quick as you wanted to. It was because at some point in that kind of braking zone, it just, the speed wasn't like sufficiently like dropped off absolutely perfectly. And again, that's all in hindsight, but that's just something that, you know, when you look at it in this sense of why there's that little bit of haltage on the kind of top of the on throttle moment, it's just because at some point in that braking zone, there is a little moment where the car just didn't slow down as much as it kind of wanted to. But in the end, you ended up going faster here. It's just more so of a sense of saying, okay, well, if I still feel like I've got to sit there and hold at like 90% for a really long distance, and I'm not able to kind of get back to that full throttle, you got to kind of sit there and say, okay, well, why did that happen? You know, why did something like that happen? Why could I not do this? Why could I not do that? And it's probably mainly due to, yeah, just that little moment. So are you definitely like feeling that in cases, like when you get back on the power, you're just sitting there holding at 90, and does it cross your mind like, oh, okay, maybe I could have held this for longer or done this for longer? Is that starting to kind of come across your mind when you're going through situations like this, for example?
Immediately. Like I remember the first time I saw it, it's like, hey, you're holding because you're under steering. So since that time, like I feel that I'm like, whenever that happens, I immediately connect the dots, and I try to like, because it's a very short amount of time that I have to problem solve before the next lap, because we're looking at the next turn. But I try right there to understand like, oh, where did I brake? What happened to my brake curve? And then I go to the next one. So whenever I come to the next lap in that sector, I try to fix that. I usually brake something else, right? And like now I went on brakes too early, so not carrying enough speed. Like I'm losing a lot of delta. But it's kind of an adjustment that happens, like going back and forth. But it's not something that's going unnoticed anymore. Like I immediately realize I'm holding there and not going to 100%.
Yeah, amazing. No, that's fantastic. Yeah, and I'm loving the kind of thought process that you're having, because it's something that, yeah, I mentioned to so many drivers to try and sort of add into their kind of um their learning phase, and try to just sort of, whenever something does go wrong, analyze it, try and, like you're doing, connect the dots together and try and say, okay, well, this is happening because this is happening. And the more that you can understand the philosophies and the structure behind everything you're doing, the easier it is for you to continue to get faster and continue to improve. And we can see that, very, very quickly. Now we're winning races, we're putting it on pole, we're doing all these little things like that. And you look back to pretty much nearly a month ago now, and you would never even think of it potentially be possible, So it's insane to see, like, when you just focus on little things every week, the weeks go by, it just, all these little things start to kind of, shape up, and they start to get really, really close, which is, fantastic to see. So yeah, look, I think T1 there, it seems like you got a good level of understanding with it, and you know what you kind of need to do. It's just about, yeah, obviously adapting, adjusting to the different conditions, and saying, okay, well, here it's a bit colder, here it's a bit warmer, and you kind of feel that. Because even for me yesterday, like, just going and sort of redoing a couple laps there, and seeing if I could kind of match the time, but it was just like the track was always hotter. So you kind of see, okay, well, for example, VRS last season did a 38.5, but their 38.5 was done on a 24-degree track temp. Yours was done on a 26. Mine was done on a 31. So it's kind of like, okay, well, you're trying to chase a number that unfortunately just isn't realistic for the track temperature, and then you try to drive harder, you try to chase the lap time, but you got to say to yourself, well, it's just not possible. There's no way that I can do a lap time like that in these conditions, because otherwise then I start sliding, you start getting a little bit of a kick out on the rear in a truck like this, and the car starts a lateral slide coming to the corner because you've gone too deep, and all these things start to happen. But you just need to be able to drive to the kind of limit of the circuit, and that's one sort of thing that, yeah, a lot of drivers definitely can have an issue with, is that they have a time in mind, they try to find that time, but unfortunately there's just a limitation with how much you can, I guess, how much you can push and how far you can actually go, depending on what the track temp and just the track condition overall is. So yeah, no, look, I think really, really good there, T1, man. I'm super happy. I mean, in particular this lap, you did go 600ths of a second faster. I think, just in that sense, you can still, like, the thing is that you look at that, you can still gain more out of that. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you are faster there, but if you wanted to go faster, you could do more to go faster, so there's always something, even I don't think any driver, even for me, I'm not going to be perfect, and I think nobody's ever going to be perfect. We're all human. But I think the biggest thing is that you never stop learning. There's always something new to learn, there's always something new that you can change. Even for me, I've been coaching for what, nearly 4 years now, almost, in a sense. And I'm still learning. People like yourself, you guys teach me quite a lot. I learn a lot of things from just, other clients and their philosophies and what they might be thinking. I might try something new and adapt, and I could learn a little bit more. But it's just more so a case of, when you're the benchmark of yourself, it's kind of quite hard to find that little extra step up, because the step up is like, it's a point, like 0.00001% of a
Yeah.
step up that you can kind of have. But every bit matters, right? And even, someone like Max Verstappen, he as a driver is like, he almost uttermost perfection, but he still makes mistakes. We all make little errors, and it's just about, as we've talked about so far in our journey, picking up on those errors and understanding, okay, well, how can I improve? And this is just an example of it here. So no, very, very good. I think fantastic. And yeah, I think keep up the good work with that corner. Just, again, keep thinking about those little things that you can kind of refine. Now, turn two is one of those kind of corners where, yeah, you can look at it in the sense of, what type of braking zone are we dealing with here? Is it a different type of technique? Are we taking a different approach? We are. Yes, we are definitely taking a bit of a different approach here, but it's still a little bit more refined than what we were dealing with last week, or this week, I should say, a Winton, for example, coming into turn three. So the way that you've basically gone and done it here is pretty much there or thereabouts identical to exactly what we did at Winton, right? So we pick up the brake, we trail off the brake, and we get back on the power. Now, the thing is that what we got to think about now, in terms of all of this kind of extra technique that we talked about from last week, is that it's kind of the same thing with what we learned about our kind of initial base structure, right? Depending on how long the corner is, how deep the corner is, obviously that distance of how long that kind of peak, hold, and trail off changes, right? If it's a short corner, it's quite short. If it's a long corner, it's quite long. If you're coming in quite fast, it's long. Slow, it's short, right? It's the same thing with what we talked about with these other new sort of techniques that we've learned. So for example here, think about this corner in comparison to the Winton one. The Winton one, you're coming in about third gear, which you are as well here realistically. You know, third or fourth gear, and then of course you're, you know, obviously braking, rotating, and getting it through the corner. But the thing is, think about the distance through this corner and the radius of this corner in comparison to the one of the Winton that we've been dealing with. The Winton one, you pretty much from the point you turn in, you dab the brake, you trail off the brake, you're back on the power. If you try and do the same thing here, what you're going to run into the issue of? You're probably going to end up out in that sand pit there because the radius of the corner is just kind of far too long. So you've tried and taken that kind of same approach as what we did at Winton, and look what's happened to you here. So you've peaked, you trailed, you power. Now look at this: holding, 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 understeering, 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 and then it stops, right? But the problem is, it's just because we didn't trail the brake enough, right? So this is where it kind of expands from what we talked about last week, that just the same way as we have done with our base structure of, you know, peaking, braking, obviously holding, trailing off, the same sort of idea, we're doing it with all of our other kind of side little skill sets that we almost use as well, you know, whether it's a squeeze on and a hold, and obviously a squeeze on and hold out hard at the end, or if it's a peak at the start and trail off a little bit like our formula kind of style almost in a sense. These are also refined for different types of corners as well. So some of them, it's going to be a very quick peak and trail off, just like you've done here. That's obviously meant for corners like Winton. For a corner like this at Okayama here, instead of peaking and trailing off, the same concept applies, but the trail off phase is a lot sort of more sort of long jeopardized almost in a sense, right? So you can see we peak, initially we start trailing off, we're trailing off, but see how the progression rate is really, really slow. So it's kind of like a progressive drop and hold almost in a sense, right? And that's what we kind of need to sort of start doing there. So did that almost ever cross your mind at any point so far going through a corner like that? Did you think about, oh, okay, like I'm trying and doing it in the same way as I was doing a Winton, but it just wasn't giving me the result that I was looking for? Did that ever cross your mind, or?
So to be very honest about this one, like this is the one that I'm still refining, like I'm still working on.
Yes.
Because the first time I went like on my fast lap was like a 40.3 or something. I was braking so much later than you were, and I was like going on the gas so much later than you were, that I was just like losing, I don't know, like 4/10 right there. And when I like watched your video and I saw like the telemetry, I like you almost brake. Your behavior around this corner, it's almost unnatural. Like you're braking at a time that I would never think about braking, and you go on the gas super early, like in relation to where like the apex is of the corner. So I was trying to push myself like, hey, let's brake earlier, let's brake earlier, let's brake earlier, because and I was the first time I got it right, I just saw the delta like getting green, like just gaining a lot of time. And then I understood, like, the earlier I go on the gas here, it's kind of a straight all the way into the next one. So I'll carry more speed, and that's where the gain is. So I'm trying to refine, like, where I'm going on the brake. And in this case, I think I went, like, early and harder on the brakes. And that probably got me, like, way closer to the curb. And that's why I went on the power, like, a little bit earlier as well. And now because I got closer to the curb, I'm pointing to the wrong direction. I have like a different angle of the car pointing to the exit of the corner. And that's when like the car understeers. And I'm like, if I go more on the gas here, I'm going to hit the wall. And I just hold until the car gets like in the right position. But I did have like, the first thought that came to my mind when I was doing the first time was like, this feels a lot like turn 2 of Winton, of using the brake to get some rotation and going on the power. I was just doing like much later.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, it's again, the idea that was there, right? And that's fantastic because, again, like we talked about last week, now you're thinking about, okay, well, what corner requires what? And this is exactly one of those corners, but it's just about, saying, okay, well, just as we've learned in the past as well with that kind of main structure we've done, how can we kind of refine what we're doing there as well to get the car to do what we wanted to do? And you're right, the way that this corner is, it kind of is a very strange one in terms of reference points, in terms of, you know, where you're braking, how you're rotating. But I think the big thing is here is that you're definitely feeling the the kind of natural rear rotation of the BMW almost in a sense through here, where you tap the brakes, you feel like the sort of weight transfers in terms of that bouncy ball, you know, pretty aggressively moves across the car, and you feel like the back end can kind of swing around a little bit. But when that back end swings around a little bit, that's when you kind of feel like you can modulate the brake, trail it in, and then whenever it kind of bites, that's where you can get back on the power. So I think the only thing we need to basically do here, man, is like we just need to extend out that kind of structure you're doing already, right? So instead of staying just like peak and trail off, we just need to peak, but we start the trail off, but we just trail off a little bit slower. We don't just drop it as kind of aggressively. Even if you broke at the same point, it doesn't really matter. You definitely can go a little bit deeper, but even if you broke at the same point, all that really means is that, okay, well, we can just trail off the brake. And of course, it means naturally when you're doing something like that, we don't need to peak as hard. So of course, your peak is 25 and my peak is pretty close, to be honest with you, at 22. So 3%. So it's very, very small margin, but it's just a case of, as we know, if we're going to be holding the brake for longer, that means we don't need to peak as hard, right? So does that make sense?
Yep.
One way or another, then, man? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, no, look, once again, I think very, very good, and like in all honesty, that's a tenth of a second for you there, almost in, well, nearly. That's where you, yeah, pretty much one of your biggest time losses on the lap was there. But you know, again, think about it in the sense of like, okay, well, imagine how what I'm doing here would feel if the track's obviously hotter as well, right? It would feel a lot worse than what I'm feeling right now too. So you're gonna need extra braking anyway through here, because genuinely the car just won't turn if you try to do it in the way you're doing it when it's warmer too. So yeah, look, it'll benefit you not only in this condition but as well in a warmer condition, and I think, you know, that's obviously the big thing to talk about there, which is obviously fantastic. So that's all fine, but yeah, like, you know, finish up, I think the fact that you're doing the sort of right sort of process, you're going about it in the right way, that's what matters, because you're thinking about it, and that's very, very important. So nonetheless, really good job. 3, so of course, you know, flat out all the way through that little snaky kink, so that's all fine. Obviously 4, so this is definitely a tough corner. I think, like, in this car across the calendar, this has to be like one of the toughest corners out there, just because of the way this car feels back on power, and just to try and get some traction out of the corner is so tough that this corner makes it a really, really hard thing to do, depending on how you go about in this corner. And I mean, yeah, you can look at this and you can pretty much see exactly what's kind of going on for you right now, is that, yeah, you've pretty much broken at the same time, maybe slightly earlier, thereabouts, you've broken to the same pressure. In your mind, you've probably thought, okay, the car feels like it's slowed down enough. I can trail off the brake a little bit, but, you know, in this case, we just unfortunately trailed off the brake a little bit too soon. And then, of course, because of that, you can see what's happened. You've got it on the power. You try to get it back on the power, but you just, again, had to hold it like, you know, that 70, 80, 90% all the way until over here, where I'm all the way back on full throttle over here, right? So that's all that really was, to be honest with you. And there's only half a tenth of a second realistically between us through there, but where that half a tenth of a second went is because, yeah, you dropped the brake, you carried the speed in, then you try to get back on the power, it didn't allow you to do so, you lost the time, and then of course you're losing that momentum down that kind of straight line as well. So how did that corner feel for you in a sense? And I guess thinking about now, is that something that you felt for sure, just that longevity you had to have on the throttle pedal there?
So this is the other corner that I think like the time here doesn't tell the truth, because I struggled. I had to set up like an active reset point right before to take like 100 times just to find like the break point. And I had to rewatch your video and like look at the telemetry again just to try to understand what's going on. And someone on the chat said like, hey, look at his input. He's kind of like, he barely moves the steering wheel all the way to the apex. He only like uses the steering wheel input once hits the apex. And I realized that was a difference until that point. I was like braking and I was getting super slow and using a lot of steering wheel to get in. So I tried a couple times to just let the car kind of slide as I was getting in until the point I was like hitting the gas. And this is probably one of the 2 times maybe that I got this even close to what we're doing. So I have to be more consistent there. But for like this very specific curve and example, I have no idea what's going on in my mind because I was just trying to get it right. But it also surprised me how fast you were going on the gas. Because as you look, like you get to 100% way before the second apex, and I was only getting to 100% after the second apex, and I was losing a lot of time. So I'm still trying to figure this one out. And you go like so much tighter as well. Like I felt
Yes.
your line. You don't hug the curb itself. Like you hit the first apex, and then like maybe a half car length there, and then you go to the
Hmm.
second one, and that just gives
Yeah.
you some good time on the exit. So I'm trying to figure that one
Yeah.
out yet.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, I think the key thing is with this track, like, when they did the 3D rescan, probably goodness was probably about what, like maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago now. But obviously what they did was all the curbs that they refined here were all added basically 3D curb, the curb physics that they kind of added to iRacing, they added it to this track as well. And the thing is that obviously all the curbs here now basically have that little bit like a staircase almost in a way. And of course, when you obviously run your tire over that little bit of a staircase, of course, naturally, just because it's kind of uneven, it kind of can drag your car around the kind of corner almost in a sense. So what I'm trying to do in one way or another is that I'm doing my absolute best effort to get my car as much down to the apex as I can at that initial kind of point where it sticks out to the uttermost area. And then once I kind of hit that inside of the area of the curb, it just kind of drags me around the sort of corner a little bit in a sense. If I miss that curb, I'm going to be kind of washing out a lot wider, and I'm going to kind of feel like I have that little bit of like a wider radius that then allows me to kind of cut tighter, which almost in one way or another is what happens to you. But you do seem like you do get the curb. It's just more so the angle that you're coming in is just maybe you can see here the radius is just a little bit too tight. You can see just on the inside here. So what that obviously means is obviously because you have dropped the brake a little bit earlier, you've obviously gone to rotate the car in, but that's clearly a little bit too early when you kind of drop the brake and rotate the car in. So of course you're getting down to the curb just a little bit earlier. Because you get down there a little bit earlier, it probably pushes you out a little bit wider. And of course, mix that in with trying to get back on the power, it's just going to kind of make the car wash out a little bit more to the outside. So yeah, as obviously your chat said there, I think it's very much a case of like you're trying to keep the wheel as straight as you possibly can, be as efficient on the brakes as you possibly can as well, and carry that brake for as long as you can. And then, of course, drop the brake, turn in, rotate, get the curb, and then obviously power on the exit. But yeah, I think this is one of those corners where, yeah, if you do get the point just slightly wrong as well, like if you do just go slightly too deep, it's very easy to kind of overshoot this corner. Like, yeah, like you said, you had to kind of active reset it quite a lot. It's super easy to get into that kind of rhythm of sort of overshooting it. So I think for me, I've definitely felt the same here. And again, like I mentioned, the BMW and this corner, I feel like it has to be one of nearly the hardest combos in terms of a corner and a car, around this circuit for sure. Like every car usually feels relatively quite good here, but this BMW is just always a struggle, especially back on power. But entry to mid corner as well is always really tough. So yeah, it's an interesting one to say the least. But I think, you know, bar turning in, bar your line, anything like that, I think all you just really need to make sure that you do is you're not dropping that brake too early, right? And not feeling like you're kind of just, letting go of it too soon. Because in this case, that's all that really happened. I mean, realistically, in terms of distance, I mean, from when you really drop the brake to where you kind of, let's see, just in terms of 49 to 94. So yeah, it's nearly 50 meters earlier. You've kind of dropped the brake in comparison to me in one way or another. So you've dropped it way earlier than I have. So just test your kind of feelings with what it feels like to make sure that you're holding that brake as long as you kind of can, and just try and make sure that you don't close off the radius too much coming into the corner. Try and keep that turn in as late as it possibly can, because the later you can turn in, the more, well, I guess the more easier your exit's going to be, because it drives out a little bit more straight. Whereas if you turn in too early, apex too early, of course the car washes out a little bit wider, and then you always feel like you're trying to power and turn. And we know powering and turning in this car, it kind of always wants to snap away from you, especially with the kind of elevation and the camber on this corner. That's what it kind of wants to do. So it's definitely a case of, just try and be um, as smooth as you can with everything. But as well on the exit, like, I see that you kind of make a big effort to kind of bring the car back to the kind of inside of the circuit coming up the hill. As you exit out of there, don't be afraid to open up the steering wheel. Like, don't be afraid to kind of let the car just wash out quite wide. Because again, we think about more steering angle equals more scrub equals more time that you wash off, right? So the kind of more that you can kind of open up the steering wheel, if you feel like the car needs to, like if you feel like the car's about to kind of snap, or the car wants to fight with you coming out of the corner, just try your best to let the car just wash out kind of as wide as it kind of can. And just let the sort of radius sort of open up as well, and it will just allow you to kind of not run into any issues on the exit there, because I can definitely see that, you know, you're a little bit tighter, but again, that could probably be used because of obviously the way that you went out of the corner. So yeah, look, just something to think about in that sort of notion. But nonetheless, I think, again, you know, if it's a corner that we're struggling with, I think it's a very sort of simple fix. It's just about making sure that, yeah, we're not dropping that brake too soon, and that'll help us out quite a lot. So nonetheless, I think that's all really good. 5 and 6. So in one way or another, it's pretty much the exact same sort of thing. So you can see that, yeah, our breaking point, we started at the exact same area. Peak pressure wise, we got to thereabouts the exact same area. You can definitely see that, yeah, you do have maybe just a little bit more pressure than me, sort of in maybe past the mid to the back area. So you can see that, you know, from this point onwards, it's what, 51 to 48, 48 to 52, 52 to 47, 48, 48 to 52. So you can see for a consistent area, it's probably about anywhere between 3 to 5% difference, which could probably contribute to why you feel like you probably had to drop off the brake a little bit earlier there. But you can see, same thing happened. You dropped off the brake, then you felt like you had to trail the brake into the apex. Of course, because of that, you're starting to carry more speed, as you can see right there. Look at that, 8 kilometers an hour or more. It pushes you past the apex a little bit, pushes you out a little bit wide on the exit there, and then obviously, yeah, your exit's slightly compromised, and of course, then you're losing the time coming out of the corner as well. So that's the biggest thing that you just got to kind of think about. In moments like that where you feel like the car is starting to fall away from the apex more so at the middle of the corner, or you feel like you're kind of starting to wash out a little bit wide, those are the moments as well that you need to pick up on and say, okay, well, this is happening. Why is that happening as well? Because realistically, you look at here, you wash out wide. You look at the previous corner as well. Look what happens here. You also wash out wide. But what did you both do? Drop the brake early, drop the brake early, and it washes you out wide both of the times. So if you feel like, you know, we're sitting there doing these corners 100 times in a row and we're doing over and over and over again, and you feel that kind of consistent thing that's happening, that you just wash it past the apex, you got to kind of say, okay, well, the reason why that I'm not able to hug it around the apex is because I haven't trailed the brake or held the brake for long enough. I've tried to kind of remove the brake, turn the car in, but it's not the right spot yet. So you just got to kind of, you know, take a step back, have a look at it in that sort of sense, and think about it in that manner. So does that make sense? Do you feel that for sure when you're driving?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because like right
Yeah.
before you said about the pattern, like I think it's the third time we talked today about releasing the brakes too early. It was like the turn
Yeah.
2 where I have the peak and I trail brake early and you're holding for longer.
Yes.
Then it
Yeah.
was like turn 4 and now turn 5 and 6. So I took notes here like
Yeah.
that's I have to be more. What I have to do is go back on track and hold the brakes until I feel so uncomfortable that I'll hold a little bit more
Yeah.
and then release
Yeah.
it to get like used to that
Yeah.
new feeling.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's just the, you know, the refinement, as we mentioned at the beginning of today, the refinement of what we've learnt so far. And this is the thing, is that, you know, every track that we visit, this is going to be the case. It will, you know, because it's a case of now every track that you've been to and every track that you're starting to re-go to now that we're learning all this new information, it's going to be trying to get rid of the old habits and add the new habits in, and just sort of make sure that, you know, the old way that you were going about it doesn't get kind of, you know, confused with the new way that you're going about it, and then you kind of mix the two together. And that's kind of what's going on here in one way or the other. In the past, you were used to braking harder and later. So what does it mean when you do that? You brake harder, you brake later, you wash the speed off more, you trail off earlier. It's kind of the same thing that's going on here, but now we're braking earlier, we're braking softer, but we're still trailing off earlier at the end. So it's just kind of like structure's correct, application's correct. It's just mindset of what it's been used to in the past, what your driving's been used to in the past at a circuit like this. It's just that same little kind of core little fundamental area that maybe is thinking in the same way. So we just need to start doing it consistently and thinking about it consistently and making sure that it isn't a repetitive thing that happens. Because of course, you know, where these little issues come up is in the corners like this that we're doing something like that. So yeah, look, I think it's all really good. Just gotta, yeah, you know, as you can see, there's a few corners there where the same similar thing has happened. Just gotta make sure that we do it in that sort of case, and that's all really good. So T7, to be honest with you, I think this one isn't really too bad. I mean, the second half, yeah, maybe. The first half, I think, you know, into the actual first left, we just didn't brake hard enough, so we can just increase the brake pressure there. So you can see peak pressure here was pretty much 20, whereas mine was a bit over 30, so 34, yours was 20. So you can just naturally go up the pressure there, and to be honest with you, that's just one of our normal peak and trail offs, because again, when you think about this left-hander corner, this one's more in relation to what we were dealing with at Winton, almost in one way or another, right? So it's just a fast left-hander, and we kind of trail off the brake and get back on the power. It's very much the same as what we dealt with Winton. Just can use a little bit more pressure, just so you can get on the power a little bit more aggressively, and that'll be okay. The second left, in one way or another, I think the same thing, just kind of needed a little bit more pressure. So your peak into there here was 21%, whereas mine was 27%. And that was all okay. And then obviously, yeah, you could probably see that maybe in one way or another, the same thing kind of was there. You can see that you probably just peaked and trailed off very early, but then you can see that you kind of have like a refile back, and you try to kind of increase it a little bit towards the end because you realize maybe you need to hold it. So again, similar to what we dealt with at turn 2, just kind of peak, sort of, obviously start to bleed off. You can see I literally peak and start to bleed off straight away, but just kind of be maybe a little bit more progressive with your kind of inputs there. And as well, in terms of gearing, just wanted to talk about quickly in terms of the gearing and the hairpin. Did you find third gear was okay for you in this hairpin as well? Obviously, in comparison to what we've talked about, felt okay for you?
Yeah, like I never
Yeah.
go to second gear anymore. I just got used
Great.
to like holding the car. As you said, like when you go to second and third super fast,
Uh-huh.
you have so much more to deal with this car that like just holding
Yeah.
third gear just feels very good with this car.
Yep, perfect. So no, that's all good because yeah, I mean, this is one of those corners where like I think I figured out in my driving the difference between third and second gear was this corner, because the problem is like as you power out in second, because you're always turning, like as you rev out in second and go to shift to third, you've got angle on, right? So when you got the angle on, that's where it snaps. And this is where I probably discovered it, because realistically, like you could probably go faster actually through the apex by being in second gear at this corner, but you lose all that benefit on the exit anyway, and you probably end up sliding the tires more, which of course gives you more tire temperature. So for one lap benefit, if you get it right, that is, it's not worth it for the longevity of the kind of race, or just for a longer stint that you're doing to keep it in second gear. So yeah, third was fine there, so that's all good. I just wanted to make sure for that. So that's all good. So got that sorted. T7 obviously fine. Now 8 and 9. So yeah, I mean, again, you look at this braking zone. The initial phase to the mid phase, everywhere spot on, right? You're absolutely blitzing it. You can just see once again here, the brakes dropping a little bit too early, right? So we're doing the same thing realistically for all of the corners that we've looked at here really so far. The brakes dropped too early, right? So I think the big thing is just we need to try and just keep that one in the back of our minds this week, and just, when you go back out on track and think about it, just sort of remember these conversations. Say, okay, I need to hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake. And even in your mind, if you feel like it's ready to go, don't let go of it, because it's usually a fact of it's not ready to go. It's going to be kind of lingering. And again, as it gets warmer, it's going to be even worse. So you should be able to, as the track gets warmer, it probably will feel a little bit more like normal to do, because you just genuinely won't feel like the car's ready to stop yet. So that'll be obviously handy in this sort of sense. But yeah, you can see the same thing really happens into the left, and then the exact same thing happens into the right. Whereas to be honest with you, this one, like I could see how you maybe might think this one's like a peak and a drop, but this one's actually just a peak and a hold. So this one isn't really a peak and a drop, just because of like, the way the corner's designed. It realistically is a hairpin, so it's just kind of a little soft peak. You hold the brake and then you trail off and get back on the power, rather than kind of our peak and our kind of hold, because we're not really like carrying the momentum through it's not like a 90-degree right-hander where we're kind of carrying the momentum through it. It's kind of just like a full double file back hairpin, where you're starting at one point, doing a big hairpin corner, and then powering out. So you just kind of want to like peak the brake, hold the brake, and then you trail off just as a normal kind of hairpin would be, just like the other corners, just on a really, really soft level. So that section's actually, once again, you actually fastened me through that section, which is absolutely fantastic, which shows that your lines and everything are great. And that's the one thing I would say. Your lines here and everywhere like that are absolutely fabulous, which is great. I think it's just, the little refinements, in the sense as the track would get warmer, it would fall away from you a little bit if those little things were happening, because you'd start maybe sliding, and you get those little like weird four-wheel slides that this car kind of has, and all that kind of stuff. So you just got to kind of think about it in that sort of sense. And then coming into the final two corners, really just kind of cracking the throttle back into the right-hander. So that's just about feeling the confidence through there, and just sort of feeling how much you can kind of carry the speed. I mean, of course, as I'm sure you saw via the replay, you can cut that right-hander quite a lot on the inside. You can really kind of use that a fair bit. So just want to try and really see the limit of that is like if your right wheel was cross that yellow line that's kind of on the inside of the curve. There's like a yellow line that wraps across the inside. If your right wheel was basically cross that, that's where the slowdown is basically. So yeah, I rarely get a slowdown through here, but if you want to sort of point to aim for where that limit is, it's pretty much the yellow line on the inside. And then the final corner, you can pretty much see it's there or thereabouts, that same sort of thing. But in all honesty, I think here it's maybe just a case of we probably broke just slightly too early. You did the right thing. It's just obviously because you broke a little bit earlier. Of course, you trailed off a little bit earlier, but then obviously, you probably didn't hold it as hard as you wanted it to. You could see, like for me on my drop off, it was a little bit more of like a positive retractment, where yours was like you sloped down and like negatively retracted off the brakes, which means that again you would have sped the car up in the middle, and then you went to get back on the power. The car didn't want to react, it didn't want to rotate, didn't want to turn, and then you're kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen, right? So I think, yeah, honestly, Alan, really impressed. I think, really, really great week. I think, to see that everything we've talked about so far looks super, super, super good. I mean, how much like we're matching each other in terms of like our initial to mid sort of pressures everywhere basically is really great to see. And even braking markers as well, you've got that really, really nicely too. I think it's generally just a case of like at a track like Okayama, for example, we've just got to make sure that, yeah, we're not dropping off the brake too early into every corner. And you can kind of see that consistently, really. I mean, thereabouts every corner that in bar maybe T1, I guess in one way or another, yeah, it was T1 too, but you can see everywhere it's just like we're just dropping the brake too early in either or of our structures. Either it's a base, brake, hold and trail off, or if it's a peak trail off, we're kind of just dropping them both, too early in both the sort of senses there. So yeah, man. Look, how do you feel about everything, and what's your thoughts on all of those little sort of topics there from today?
No, I feel like, first of all, like I really appreciate your coaching, like your help. I think it's impressive to me, like in 4 weeks, how much has changed. Not only like in the behavior, because the behavior is a consequence of how you think about racing, how you think about like taking each corner, how like you think about each input, right? And I feel like I've changed so much in the last 4 weeks, and it just also brings a different level of confidence whenever I'm racing, whenever I'm online, like trying new things. And like if I have to do some different moves, I know like, okay, like this might be, I'll have to maybe use like a different brake pattern here, just because I'm going to have like a tire line, because I'm going to dive or like something else, right? And I think all connects. One of the things that I was watching as you're like showing the brakes is how much, because one of my first things she was like, I don't carry as much speed through the corners, like I don't feel as comfortable at higher speeds. And I was looking how my braking behavior, like even when it's broken, I look at my speed. It's kind of my speed line is looking for your speed line. That's not something I'm intentionally doing. It's just like I already feel that I'm too slow. I'm slowing down too much. Then I release too early the brake, and then as I'm releasing too early the brake, I get like faster than your line, which tells like the car is telling me it's like it's not gonna make it. And then I go like I hold for a little bit longer. So even then, like when the brakes, the input is showing what's going on with my behavior, I see that like what I'm feeling, like the way I'm feeling the car, and I'm like analyzing what's going on is in the right direction. So fixing the input is gonna have like a lot of result, because it's not like I feel that I cannot go around this corner as fast. It's just like I'm still refining on how to get like the optimal speed around the corner. So I'm super, super happy.
No, and it's been, it's great to see, and I think it's definitely a case of, I think it comes down to all the hard work you put in. I think it's definitely not something that can happen very easily if you don't put the work in. I mean, I wish it was as easy of just me saying something and it being able to fix a driver, but you definitely have to put the hard yards in. And I think from my experiences, it's definitely the ones that, put the hard yards in the background that see the best results. And that's clearly what's going on here. So, it's good to see, and it's all down to your effort as well on your end. There's only so much I can do in terms of saying things, but it's the actions from your driving and I guess the practice you put in that makes this all come to fruition, really. So yeah, really well done for that. But yeah, it's great to see that a lot of the the core things are all there now, and I think it's just about, like I said, just getting kind of, I guess, throwing away the kind of old ideas or the old kind of habits at certain circuits that you were used to doing in the past, and kind of just throwing them away and just only having, you know, the new ones that we've learned and applying them for certain circuits. Because I think, yeah, I mean, what we talked about today, I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's got, you know, a lot to do with just the way that you've been used to driving this track in the past, and you know, knowing where your sort of points were recently and just what you were doing in the past, it just is kind of lingering a little bit. It's you know, it's almost just like, you know, deleting, you know, kind of old files on a computer. There's always some kind of cached file somewhere that's kind of sitting around that you haven't deleted yet. It's almost like what this is, almost in a sense. So yeah, look, I think it's just, yeah, something we'll keep looking out for. And yeah, you know, I think it's again the beauty of the calendar that we have with the rookie series is that it's always the same tracks from season to season. So once you kind of have a good idea of where, oh, I guess where and what you're doing at every sort of circuit on the calendar, then, you know, realistically, it's just about coming back to them and refining and refining and refining and trying to maximize it every season in the different conditions that you kind of have. And I think, yeah, that's the biggest thing. So no, look, really, really happy, Alan. I think, you know, really, really fantastic. I think this track, you know, is going to be quite fun for racing. I know Okayama is always a fun circuit to kind of race. I mean, yeah, it's definitely got a few more passing opportunities than at Winton, which is obviously good, because yeah, that Winton just sucks for literally, yeah, trying to put any type of move on. Like, you've just got to be so aggressive in what you do to be able to kind of get anything done, which is a bit frustrating at times, but it's just, you know, one of those circuits. But then, yeah, obviously, then we'll have Summit Point coming up after this, and then yeah, the season's basically done there. So yeah, and then on to the next season, we'll start again, and then we'll go again, and there'll be a few more tracks that, yeah, obviously we hadn't seen, but I think, yeah, we've passed through definitely a fair few kind of tracks there. But yeah, maybe as the season ends, we can kind of, yeah, decide on a track that maybe you want to give a go in this car that maybe is on the calendar or isn't on the calendar, and can kind of see how you go somewhere like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like and we can talk more about this offline as well. But I'm thinking about
Yeah.
next season, go more
Yep.
in the M2 challenge and the production challenge.
Mm,
I think could be like a
sure.
nice way to stay in this car and learn more, like at this level,
Yeah.
before like in the
Yeah.
following season going to a GT4.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
one thing, like we have more than 80 people online, so I do want to make sure you get a
Thanks.
chance to introduce yourself. Like most people, I don't think they have seen you before. This is the
Yes.
coaching session for the most people, so I'll just give the floor to you to just tell like who you are and how they can get in touch with you.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, so no, obviously, yeah, look, if you want to get involved with the same thing as what obviously Alan is doing, and I guess, yeah, you know, try and see where you're kind of going wrong and where you need to improve, of course, yeah, get in touch with me on through my website, lutzudriveperformance.com, or you can find me anywhere on socials, Lutzu Drive Performance or Gianni Lutzu, and yeah, be able to tailor you to whatever you need to learn, and if it's the M2 or if it's in open wheelers, you know, if it's in oval, if it's in anything that you require, then we can definitely have a look. So yeah, no, look, it's yeah, look, it's been a pleasure so far, Alan, and yeah, I think, you know, in terms of the going forward, I think you know, with the challenge, the exciting thing is that I'd love to definitely have a look into setup with you, because of course, yeah, I think the BMW opens the Power Series, or I think it's even the production sim lab is obviously open setup. So I'm obviously building setups for that series every week. So it'd be cool to just run through how you actually set a car up, because it is very important to know kind of, you know, what, obviously how you're driving, but know what you're driving and how to kind of change things if you need this, or you want this, or you need more of that, you know, what to be able to change if it's cambers, toe, you know, anti-roll bars, you know, if it's kind of, you know, bump rubber gaps and all this stuff like that you can change in the car, spring rates, you know, it all makes a difference. So it'd definitely be cool to kind of have a look at that. And of course it expands your kind of your track roster as well, which I think will be really cool. So yeah, no, look, the future's exciting. The future's bright. I think, you know, we're taking really big steps forward, which is amazing to see. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see how we continue progressing. So no, really well done as always, Alan. And yeah, obviously we'll have a look at Summit Point together next week. And yeah, that'll be a fun one to focus on what we've talked about here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. Really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Al. You have a good night. Enjoy your stream, and I'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Good night, man. Bye.
Yeah, so that's Gianni. Let me quickly show here his social and his website. I found him through Sambo Racing, so I don't know if you look for like fast laps on YouTube. You probably do. and he was doing one there. And then Sambo said like this coach helped me go from 2K to 5K. And of course, like I'm not like really interested in only growing iRating, but like getting better. And I was looking for a coach, and I talked to him offline. I gave a try, and we've been working. Like this is our 4th session, which means like we have 3 weeks since the first session, and he has completely changed the way I drive. Like it's not like I had no idea what I was doing before. So I also don't want to like oversell. Like yeah, I had no idea how to handle a car. But I was stuck. I had no idea like of how to solve some of the problems I was having. And he like the first lesson just changed a lot. I'm gonna do a video about it, like how to think about ABS, braking thresholds, and everything else. This is his website, Lutzu Driver Performance. So LUTZU Driver Performance. If you wanna check it out, like he
Wild
talks about
Slothman.
coaching
Said.
here.
Shout out Johnny.
Yeah, and like he's an actual like race driver. He didn't say that, but he started with open wheelers, and during the pandemic, like how can I keep practicing? That's when he got into sim racing, and after like he came back to real life and doing both now. The following year of the pandemic, he was a champion. Like he became champion just because he was practicing so much and like learning so much from like the data and stuff. And now he's giving back, like he's coaching people. Very, very good coach. And he also has his social media, like maybe somewhere here. Yeah, you can always follow. This is how like I got through, like I got in touch with him. And like yeah, real life driver, race driver, real like life like sim driver, I guess. So definitely check it out. He's an amazing coach. It's the third one I've had. The first one, so I bought like an online course, and I'm start opening iRacing here because we're gonna race Mayhem right now. But the first, I did like a course which helped me a lot. Then I had a coach for like 5 or 6 lessons, which also helped me a lot. Then I had one coach for one only for like an endurance race. But since like I've started with Johnny, like 1,000% recommended. I make zero money out of this. It's truly like because of how much I appreciate his work and what he's done to my racing career. So that's it. I think that's enough as well. Let's race. So let me go back to my Discord because we were talking about racing together with the community today. And tonight, like Friday parties mean we are gonna do like we're gonna race random stuff, random cars. Last week we raced like the dirt road without having the right equipment. It was funny. Enjoyed that. And let's see here. I'll pick the first one, and I'll let you guys pick the following ones. We can do sports cars. We can do formula cars. We can do oval. We can do whatever we want. I think as a first, let's see here. What do you guys want to do? I think that's the question. Like, go to the chat, say like if there's anything. Let me just read like the main ones. We're driving M2s in Winton. We're gonna do this again tomorrow, so like I think you can skip. We have the GR in the short version of Okayama. We have the M5s in Red Bull Ring in Winton. Legends Cup. I've never driven this car in a race. If you wanna destroy iRating, we can go there as well. Production challenge in Brands Hatch. I'm not good at that circuit. I wouldn't do the GT4s today. I think they'll just be destroyed there. But those are some options of the sports cars. We also have the formula cars in Navara and Alton. Maybe which one is Alton? Remind me. Okay, we might do this one. Like 11:15. That's in 4 minutes, and this one is in how much time from now? In half an hour. So what do you guys think? Let's start here with the Formula 1600. Let me see the Formula Vs. We may have more time in the Formula Vs to learn the track, but there's no fun in learning the track before we race. So let's get here. If you are in our Discord server, yeah, like if you're in our Discord server and you want to join the race, just join the race. Really. I'm going to post our Discord server
Craig
here.
Walder said, Formula is always fun to watch.
Yeah, that's. I'm not gonna have time to learn the track, which makes me nervous. But yeah, it usually. I also feel zero pressure from like racing formulas. I just try to not destroy anyone's race. And I'm gonna post our Discord server here, if you wanna join. And I'll also join the Friday Night Party voice channel, if you guys wanna join like the races and make faster decisions with me. We can use that as a resource. Are you gonna race today, Craig? And we're talking also about like finding a hosted session, so we can race together in the same hosted session despite like different.
Said. Join the From Rig to Road Discord https discord gggafgbr375d.
And don't forget, like if you're new to the channel, like I come live, I live streams almost every single day, always at 10 p.m. Eastern. So that's one thing. I'm releasing 2 videos a week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you stay in touch with what we are doing. And oh, this is an awful field of view. I think here's good. I think here's good. So make sure you. I think I have to reduce the. Hold on, guys. I just set this up. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my arm here because it's super heavy. I think here's good.
Said. I won't be on tonight. My whole house came down with the flu, so I'm watching while under a blanket. LOL.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, at least I'm here to entertain you, right? Don't hit that curve. Don't hit that curve. Yeah, get better soon, man. Get better soon. I feel this is kind of late to get the flu. You're almost like clear for the winter. We're gonna go wide here. I still need to bring down the force feedback, otherwise I'm gonna lose my thumb. Like the good thing is I know this track. The bad thing is I have always been very bad at this track, so knowing the track is only meaningful if you know what to do. Let's see here, this car will brake late.
Craig Walter said, I have a kindergartner, so we have been sick all year, it feels like.
Is it like the first year in school? I have a co-worker. They just put their kid in childcare, and he's sick like every other week.
Said, in similar boat 3-5 of my roommates came down with colds flus this week cause of midterms.
Damn. I'm glad we're social distancing here, right? This is a very easy corner with the Mazda. I'm not carrying enough speed there. Stay there, buddy. Stay there. Stay there. Yeah. I want to put like a fast lap and see what a fast lap looks like for me. The fun thing is like we're learning also to control better this car, which is awesome. Like it's a side effect. We're not working on this one, but just because the Friday fun's like we always race a formula at least once. Oh, I'm feeling good. Like I feel that the braking points are the same almost. I'm probably like leaving a lot of time on the table.
Said, damn, the V's are so much faster than the M2S, it's crazy.
I don't think this is a V, this is a Formula 1600.
Car stopped on the right.
The V's are super slow actually. Yeah, perfect rejoin. Okay, thank you. Very much appreciated. Perfect rejoin. We're having such a great lap. I don't know what my fast lap's gonna look like. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad. But this is the type of thing we're gonna be measured against right now. So
Wild Slothman said, okay, that makes way more sense.
the Formula Vs, I like racing Formula Vs. I think it has to be a short track though, because these long straights, they just don't move. They just don't move. So we have a good group of people. I won't go to the track. Like maybe I'll go just for the sake of going to the track.
Craig
To have some more
Walter
time with the car.
said, you're gonna mess around too much and become a Formula main.
So my childhood dream was to become a Formula 1 driver, right? I just feel like racing sports cars has like an easy, it's easier in real life, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have to learn more about like how much costs like a Formula V here in the US and stuff, and start there. But I just feel like I have so many more options with the sports cars as well.
Slow car ahead. Car stopped on the right. Go there.
Wait. Okay. Rate this collision avoidance that you just had there. If you think you did a good job avoiding collision, like the video. If you think I did a bad job, subscribe to the channel.
Wild Slothman said, can't rub race in open wheel though.
No. When I was racing the M2s here, I have to do a short about it, like a Instagram reel. The car bounced back onto the track. Like the car, they lost control. They're going straight into the wall, which was fine. I was just coming like way behind. It hit so hard the wall, they came back like at full speed to the track, and the guy took me and another guy out. Cool. Let's see here. Let's see what we can do. I have spun like 0 times here so far, and now I just spun. So, love it. Love it for me. At least this lap doesn't matter, so... At least, and we also collected some unnecessary instant points. Let me just like stop the car here. Lock the wheels. I have hill support because my pedals are so high in my rig, and it fell because, long story short, there's no way to drill a hole where they are, and they just, of course, sleep during the race. What do you guys want to race next? M5s? Do you want to do like the M2s, different track, Winton, GR86? I think you can race like one GR86 just to... Craig loves racing the GRs, so he can, because he's not racing today, you can represent him. Yeah, maybe. So what I did that I thought was gonna work.
Double side tape the heel support maybe.
That's a good idea. I should stop being so stupid, right? That's an easy solution. What I did, like I put like kind of a rubber so it doesn't slip. But now that it was supposed to be temporary, but now that I know like what the right position is for me, maybe I should just double tape it. I remember when I was in college, I think this is still like a meme or something, because I'm a mechanical engineer, and like if it's moving and it's not supposed to move, use duct tape. If it's not moving and it's supposed to move, WD-40, and that's how you fix everything in engineering. At least in the mechanical space. Alright.
Wild
Nice.
Slothman said, the most permanent solution is a temporary one.
Yes. I agree. I agree with that. We don't have to brake here, just lifting works. We cannot downshift too aggressively in these cars, otherwise I think they just spin. We lost some time here because I went too hard on the curb. Note for self, don't go as hard on the curb. Hold. Ah, I got on X. Okay. It was a trash lap anyways, so maybe get the next one. Yeah, I have to go slightly harder, like, and I think Gianni said something about it in one of the lessons, that the Forma is the type of car that you go harder on the brakes, and then like quick release, versus like the team tops, that you don't go as hard on the brakes.
One more lap.
Whenever I go super soft on the brakes here, I struggle. It's funny because this exit felt way better than the previous one. I'm losing time, so go figure. And here we learn we just lift. And there is some camber like in this corner, so we can go on the gas super early there. Stay. Okay. We did lose some time, but less than lost last time. So I can carry more speed there. And I'm being like slightly more conservative right now, because I want to be on the board. I went too aggressively on the first one. And we just have two people who put time, so that's going to be interesting. Back on power. Fastest laps 46.6. I think you're gonna be around like 48. Let's see. I was understeering, that's why I went so long there. Maybe I should have trusted more the grip. 147.4, not bad. Not bad considering we just got this car
Checkered
here.
flag, checkered flag.
Not bad, not bad. And here we just lift. Just okay. Yeah, there's some time to be gained here, see? There's a lot of time can gain there. I feel like here too. I don't think I carried enough speed last time here. Because I was afraid of going out. Like, we're at like half a second faster. Almost half a second. Now half a second. Ah! Almost saved, almost saved. Off track there. I do feel the car, like, I do feel we have 7/10 here that we can shave. I do feel there are 7, like, yeah, we can be fighting for, like, the top positions. What do you guys think? In the meantime, let's see. We're starting P4, which is not bad. So we're gonna be done like in 15 minutes. What do we have next? Let's not do another one. We can do one of these in Navara. We can do MX5 at Winton. We can do maybe this one. Is it like the full track or like the one that I'm used to? This is short. I never done this one. We
Craig
have this
Walder
car.
said, "You have an easy 1 second to gain if you can link it all on the same lap."
Yeah, like yeah. And I think I was very close to getting like more than half a second, like 7/10 right there. It's what happened. I think like I lost control. I went off track or something for no reason. Let's
The
go.
estimated strength of field is 1,409. Green, green, green.
So I have no idea how to start like these cars. I always lose positions.
Right side.
Never be on the outside of a rookie.
Keep to the left. You're on the left. 3 wide. Hold
Let them
your
fight.
line.
Let them fight. Let them fight.
Clear.
That's why we let them
Car
fight.
right.
We're gonna be on the inside of this guy.
Keep to the left.
Chances are he's gonna hit us. We're holding
Stay on the
tight.
left.
Stay tight. Use some of this draft to our advantage.
Still there.
He's gonna defend.
Clear on the right.
Okay. We're down to P6.
There's an incident ahead. Go right. Go right.
2 positions, right there. We're back to P4. He missed the apex. He's gonna miss the second one. And he's gonna defend like with his life, and he missed the
Left
track.
side. Clear
Good
on the
overtake. That was a good overtake. The car behind is so much faster. I'll give him the
Right side.
inside.
left. Still there.
Let's see if he goes
Clear.
long. He's gonna go long.
There's an incident behind.
I'm gonna go early on the brakes here because I don't wanna crash him. I wanna leave to fight another lap. It's fun because the car behind is so close as well, and I didn't realize it. I'm just gonna go on my line here.
10 minutes to go.
Uh-oh, we're gonna go long. We're gonna go long. We're seeing the world the other way around. Push too much. What's going on here? Are we stuck? Oh, we're stuck. Come on, we're stuck. Come on. Do I have reverse? Oh no, come on, guys. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Our race is gone. We got stuck. Oh man, we're having such a great race.
Craig Walder said, "Ha ha ha, talk about bad luck."
Right? And I spun for no reason, right? Was I trying to like overtake the guy? I don't think I was trying to overtake from the outside. I think I was just unlucky. Come on, hold. Don't crash. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop.
Slow down. You got a penalty? We're cutting the course.
Alright, let's push some quali laps here.
Wild Slothman said, "That's so unfortunate, still ain't last though."
Yeah, there are 2 cars that crashed. And we are only ahead of whoever crashed. But I think we can now push to like try to crash ourselves maybe? No, 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 no. At this rate we're gonna be lapped like sometime very soon. We're having such a great race. We're having such a great race. It was like completely our mistake.
Car right. Clear on the right. Right
Of
side.
course he's gonna want to try like to fight for position, right?
Still there, hold your line. Clear on the right.
Here's where we spun. We're looking for a very good exit and the very good exit did not happen. I'm gonna defend this, like you were a lap down, right? I'm up to P8? Is that it?
The car in P1 just set the fastest lap.
Oh, we're gonna crash now. I was looking. Can you believe it?
You've got some damage. Let's get that fixed.
Okay, we're not gonna wait, right? Let's see what else we have there. Like this race is gone. This race is gone.
All the damage is repairable.
Yeah, good luck for you, buddy. I'm gonna save this. I feel like we're having a good race. Oh, he was fighting with me? I thought he was like a full lap down.
Said, he was fighting you for P8.
I didn't know that. Too late, too late. Do you wanna do GR? Let's do GR. Let's have like 10 minutes to practice. What do you guys wanna do? Like the point here is to race, like, and if you guys wanna race together, let me know. Like, we can go into a session. We can go into a session together. If you haven't yet, don't forget, like, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and join the Discord server. Would love to. But for some people, they want to see more. They don't want to engage with the community. It's fine. Like, hit the like button. Like, that's completely free. It helps a lot. Helps a ton.
Wild Slothman said, the 2 who crashed were, but he was just slow in front from an off track.
Ah, gotcha. So you see, like, I was so focused in making mistakes that I didn't even see that happening. And I'm frustrated because we had P4, awful start. If we had like a decent start, we would have probably had 0 problems in the race. Like, we just held that position for a longer time. Let's see how the GRs feel here. The GR is a much more consistent car. Like, it's easier to handle, I feel. At least that's a personal opinion. I didn't buy the truth, so I'm not an owner of the truth. But I do feel like they're easier to handle than the... But I feel the fuel like between the cars is just trash. Okay. Let's feel the wheel. What happens here? Right side, right side, right side, right side, right side. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Already here. Okay. Is it feeling super slow, the car, or it's just a feeling? The car's feeling super slow to me. Maybe the formers just feel faster.
You cut that corner and got a slowdown penalty.
Too late? Yeah. Let's just use this opportunity to waste some time here. I hope no one's coming.
Frank Walder
I feel like this one have to
said,
cut more like
drive
this.
it like the formula and smash that brake LOL.
Okay, okay. Let's see. The formulas you can break like much later. No, too late. People are doing like 58. Let's see if we can get close to 58 here. That was bad. That was bad. Oh no, my gloves. Missed the apex by a lot. I do have to go harder on the brakes, that's for sure. Earlier on the brakes. We need to have like a good exit here. So that's a hairpin and I'm doing something wrong there. It's the same wrong behavior we just discussed with Gianni. Super late on the gas here. That's our first fast lap ever in this car and this track.
Frank Walder said, go to first on the hairpins.
The car stops on the right.
First. Yeah, this car uses roller first gear. Very bad corner there, very bad corner. I barely have to lift here. The problem of racing these cars, like in this class, is they're likely gonna be in the top split.
Just set your fastest lap of the session.
Which means we're gonna be racing against people who know what they're doing with this car in this track. You see, like, I still don't have a braking mark there. I feel like 50% here is fine with trail brakes, the second one here. Lift here. I feel it works well, like it's more on the lifting space than properly. I can go deeper before I brake. No lift. 50%, go on the gas early. Use the exit. Oh. Let's try to put like a single fast lap here. I think we can. Brake here. Trail brake, gas. Let the car go wide. Brake. Use the brakes here. Shift down. On the gas here. Lift.
Car right. Clear on the right.
I feel like there's nothing you can do to a GR to make it spin. That's how I feel about this car. We had like an overtake and we're still like the fastest lap, so let's see this guy.
Car right. Clear. That was your fastest lap of the session.
Late. Was a late braking point. Destroyed the rest of our 9.3 or 1 second off pace. Or maybe like more than that. You can be super aggressive with the inputs in this car. I feel like at least. So the last one is the second gear.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
We're losing too much time in Sector 2. I feel now we're getting close to some sort of like kind of top like what we can do.
Car stops on the right. Go there.
We're still like a full.
Your fastest lap of the session.
Sector 2 is the hardest part of the track.
Yeah, any tips there? Maybe I should go on the gas here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I don't use the brakes all along. I go on the gas super
car on
early.
the right.
Thank you, buddy.
Car right. Clear.
Okay, I'm a short, yes.
Wild slope. Set. Is this okay in the short?
Yeah.
Great Walter. Set. Bend flat all the way around the left onto the straight.
Which corner?
Go right.
This one? Yeah, we can do that.
You got a slow car on the right. Go there.
Great Walter. Says. Sector 2 second gear and low pressure long trail brake to second apex then smash the gas.
Okay. 58.7, I think it's a good time, right? Like we are 1 second off pace P1. But yeah, like we're done. Like we're gonna be screwed here. Let's see how many cars. Is it like a rolling start? I feel this is gonna be like a rolling start.
Craig Walter said. 58.7 is solid for first time out.
Let me see here one thing. If I can put that in a qualify session, I think that's gonna be awesome.
Craig Walter said, rolling start.
Rolling start. Not this one.
Wild Slothman said, do you ever listen to music when simming?
Just my song. Just my song. But usually not, because I'm usually here. So I'm usually talking to the chat. So no. Long story short, no. Let's see. So Craig was doing like a 58.0. 58.0. We're doing a 58.7. Let's try. I'll try to, during the race, get your pace. Let's see if I can do that. Rolling start. A lot of folks. SOF's 2.1. How many cars? I feel like we have to stay out of trouble. 19 cars. So anything like in the top 9 positions, we might not be losing our rating. Anything else, we might be losing our rating. Question is, do we care? Probably not. Is the I always drop my mouse. Let's see if I have better luck this time. Oh, people are doing 57.6. Forget about it. Forget
Craig
about
Walter
it. I have no
said,
chance here.
it's all about survival here, they are aggressive.
Okay, good to know. What are the overtaking points here that people go crazy? I'm guessing turn 1. Maybe then like before the hairpin. Maybe everywhere, right? Let's qualify. I'm gonna try to have like my first lap being what I usually do in them twos, like when I'm racing for real. So here I brake at the end of the patch, I hold second, and here I'm going on the gas, like, and holding flat. This is what we're talking about. Like the car is too cold right now, but with the tires a little bit warmer, I think I can do that. I think that flies.
Wild Slothman said, looks a little wet out.
It's overcast for sure, but I don't think it's wet. It's definitely like humid. It's definitely like there's definitely more moisture on the track. Like I think I know what we're talking about.
Green flag, green flag.
Craig Walter said, it's tough to get the right line.
Okay, here comes your first time lap.
So we're going to brakes here, 70%. Go to second, hit the gas on the apex, hold the car in, hold the car in. We're gonna hit the brakes here. First gear, as the car is turning, go on the gas. Don't go out, okay. We lost some time there because we're trying to go like fully flat against Craig's advice a second ago. So that's on us. This car just accepts like any abuse, I feel. I'm like hitting the gas flat with the wheel like completely turned. And it just says like, yeah, I'll do it. It's a good first lap for us. I'll push like crazy right now. Let's try not to get off track, and that should play like in our favor.
Craig Walter said, that's why I said it polar opposite of the M2.
Yeah. Now like I fully understand. I fully realize what you meant. This car like just accepts anything you do. Let's go. Okay. We're gonna have P12 start. We just gained one position.
Checkered flag.
Oh man. It's rolling start, right? So
Great Walter said, once you're in the pack you will find the pace easy.
you can see I'm going like fully, like the car just refused to spin. Incredible. Can I just lift here or that's like too much, right? Too much speed, yeah. No, I have to brake. Okay. I tried. Try new things here. Let's try like alternate lines here, just to
Great
see.
Walter said,
Brake here.
it's all about getting in gas as earlier as possible.
So inside. If I'm on the inside before the green, super hard on the brakes. Let's go here and then here. Go hold. On the outside here. It's definitely a slow line, but I'm trying to find a grip, like if we're trying to overtake or something. So we dive here.
Great Walter said, I stay in third last turn with just a slight brake.
You cut that corner and got to slow down.
Like this? Yeah, it was faster. It was even faster. I don't know if it was faster because no, it wasn't. I think they forked. Okay.
Great Walter said, exactly like that.
So here go the brakes. Just a second. Then here we start on the gas. And I don't know if this car doesn't have like ABS or like the ABS just hits super hard or late. Or if I think I forgot my sim hub here. Let's try one more time. I feel like I can go a narrower line here, so no? No, the wider line's better. So here we can just do this. Yeah, it's like we have at least like 1/10 there. So let's remember Craig's advice. This car is all about going as early as possible on the gas. So we wanna go on the gas when it feels like it's not gonna do it. I think it was a tad too late. Ah, really? But that was our fastest lap. I think it was around like 57 or 8.4. Okay, let's see. Did I tell people they're online? I don't think I did. I didn't. So let's tell everybody they're online. We are starting P17 of 19 cars. There's really nothing to lose on this race, other than like a lot of iRating. So let's see.
One to go. Next time by. Line up on the right side. The estimated strength of field is 2,166. Pit road is closed right now. Let's take opportunities.
Like, I just released a video. If you haven't watched, I just released a video today. It's showing 2 days ago. I don't know why, but it came live today.
Left to grid.
And I was saying that I don't care, like I don't really care about iRating. That's not the metric of success for me. But I didn't mean like I couldn't care less about iRating. I just mean like I'm not trying to measure myself by my iRating. So realizing my iRating is gonna drop like by 100 in this race, it hurts a little bit because I know how hard it is to get it up.
Still waiting on 2 cars
But
to
let's
grid.
see, it's 15-minute race with crazy people. Us being one of them. Let's see how that goes.
Waiting on the final car to grid. Everyone's gridded.
Okay, that was P18, I think. At least I don't have to figure out like starts with this car. The difference between P1 and P2 is 2,000ths of a second.
Jetstar 18 car. Jetstar 6 car. Jetstar 16 car. Get ready, going green.
Already?
Craig Walter said, "Not many people stream the 86, so I'm excited to watch this."
Oh man. It's gonna be painful, I'll tell you this much.
The pace car is in. There's an incident ahead.
Thanks for that.
Here, let's go.
What are you doing?
Green, green, green.
Let's stay on the inside so nobody like...
There's an incident ahead. Car on your left. Clear.
Cold tires, respect the tires. The car takes abuse, but the tires don't. Let's see, okay, good.
Left side.
I just missed the
Clear.
braking mark.
Car
That's
on
what
your
happened.
left.
And somehow I saved the
Stay on the
car,
right.
so...
Clear on the left.
Should we go on the inside? No, right? Do we know which position we are in right now?
Clear.
14? Okay.
Car on your left. Still there.
That's gonna be interesting.
Stay on the right. Still there. Hold your line. Clear on the left.
That was for you, Craig.
Left
That was
side.
for you.
Clear.
I think somehow we're up to P12 or something like that, right? Or 13. 13, okay.
Slow car ahead. Car stops on the right. Go left. There's an incident ahead. Right side. Car on your left. Clear on the left. Left side.
It was dumb,
Clear on the
right?
left.
I was very, very dumb here. It was completely my fault.
We got damage on the front end. Right side.
We don't care about
That
damage.
narrow damage is probably slowing
We don't
you
believe in
along.
damage.
Still there. Keep to the left. Clear.
I just bumped him. He should be thanking me, not like racing against me.
Car right. Clear on the right.
And I'm gonna lose another position because he's super slow, so I'm gonna defend.
Left side. Stay on the right. Stay on the right. Clear on the left. Left side. Still there, hold your line. Clear.
Did you see that? The car behind hit us in the middle of the corner and we saved it.
Right side.
I'll let him through the
Stay
right
on the
side.
left.
Just because he had no space
Still
for
there.
us.
Still there. Stay on the left. Clear on the right.
Said 120 viewers and 86 subs. Nice job, Alan.
Thank you, thank you. How many likes do we have? How many likes? Because like is completely free. I want to know that piece. Oh, no, no, no. That was a bad break. We're going to lose a lot of time here. We can go later on the brakes here. Earlier on the gas.
Car right. Clear on the right.
The car behind believed too much in me. The car in front of me has no
Pulling
braking
away from
lights,
the car
which is...
behind. The gap is 1.5
Not cool.
seconds.
And I think it's because of me, because I hit his rear.
Jensen made WN. Said. On my screen it says 7 but it's always different once you reload.
Come on, guys.
10 minutes
120
to go.
people, just 7 like the video? Or the stream? We had a full coaching session today
Just set your fastest lap of the session.
with a guy who's at 10.3k iRating. Professional, real-life driver. We can do better. We can do better. For every like we get, we just become like a tenth faster here. So if everybody likes the video, I can still finish P1. It's on you guys. It's all on you guys.
You got a slow car on the left. The leader just did a 57.978. Left side, clear.
Let's use the draft. I thought my tires might be like too hot. It's a good race, right? Like we're fighting for P last here, but I think overall it's a good race. It's very, very like bumper to bumper. I mean, it's much more fun race like this than what's going on in Winton. That we start like P2 and finish P2.
Car 3 has taken the lead. You just set your fastest lap of the session.
We're doing 58.3, like we're improving a lot, at least that. I tried flat, did not work out. And now the car behind's
Great
catching
ball.
up and the car in front's moving away.
On the last lap they will all go crazy and start diving and wrecking. 3 spots are still coming.
Okay, okay. Should I let them dive or should I defend and just like... Let's think together, like it's half race to go. What I'm thinking here is that we don't have too much to lose though, because we're always at the back. Let me try to catch up with this car in front of me.
You got a slow car on the left.
So my sim hub is not like triggering. I'm triggering the ABS a lot of times here and I'm not feeling it on my pedal, which is no bueno. That's why I feel that my tires overheated. Too much ABS for us. And while I was complaining, we just did our best sector so far, so. Too early. I have to brake earlier because I'm not getting the grip there. But we're catching up to the cars in front, right? I feel like we are.
Go right. Car on your left. Clear.
Here's like gas early, gas early, gas early.
Craig Walter said, last turn get the right wheel on the curb.
Yeah. What I'm feeling like I was in the beginning. Now I have to go like earlier on the brakes. But I do agree. I'm gonna do it now. We're gonna see. Early on the brakes. You see, like the car's not holding. Ah, damn. Maybe I was too early on the brakes and too early off in apex. I'm gonna go slightly later, next lap.
5 minutes to go.
Let's protect the
Car on your
inside. We
Keep
have
to
the
right.
outside. We have the inside here. We have the
Keep
inside
to the
again. Keep to the right.
They say you cut the cord. You'll have to slow down and give up the time game. Still there, hold your line. Clear.
Let's be wise. Let's be wise. Let's be wise, okay? You see, like I have no tires left. Like just no tires
Left
left.
side.
It's gonna
Stay
be
on
an
the
uphill
right.
battle. Uphill
Clear.
battle. Don't forget to turn on whenever you have it. Sim hub, because I have like an ABS shaker. Okay, here. Where's my shaker? Let's go on the inside.
Left side. Still there,
Now I have
hold
to
your
go early
line.
here because otherwise I won't make this turn.
Still there, hold your line. Clear on the left.
I bet it's gonna open on my screen, even though I... Can you guys do this? Like, is this worth a like? Multitasking here. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. We are racing a car we don't usually race. In a layout we never raced before. Tires are gone.
The leader is running 57.83.
I couldn't care less about the leader right now, buddy. Couldn't care less. So. Uh-oh. Wrong direction. Wrong direction. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Early on the brakes. Three minutes to go. Can someone check if like P1 is gonna catch up to us? If I have to like manage traffic at all or not? I don't think I will, but I wanna make sure. Maybe I should have like held in third.
Craig Walter said, no chance you get left.
Okay, good. Good. because I never know if the car behind's like a lap up. So it's good to know. We just got a bump from the car behind. He's significantly faster. So I feel like the go crazy time is coming right now, right? Just how people are behaving behind me. The car behind crashed, okay? And I got 2x, like he hit me and I got 2x because he crashed. Good. Good stuff iRacing. And I'm doing this weird line because I'm trying to be as defensive as possible. So now let's hold third.
White flag, white flag.
10, okay. Let's see what we can do here. You are crazy, but I'm crazier.
Car right.
And I'm gonna
Keep
go
to the
wide
left. Clear.
to protect the next one. You see? That's why we practice alternate lines during practice sessions. To be able to defend stuff like this in the last lap. Yeah. Let's go just straight. Let him take the draft. Let's go.
Car stopped on the right.
What do you guys think?
Checkered flag, checkered flag. Okay, we'll get him.
This was a crazy race. We were climbing, we were doing well. Then on this exit, I tried to go full on the gas. There was a car parked here. I tried to go to the inside, I couldn't. It was dumb, it was just dumb.
Craig Walder said, honestly solid race, we're never running here before in this car. Wild Slothman said, you're trapped in here with me ending.
Yeah. Let's bring this back.
Wild Slothman said, great race, amazing recovery, still ended up 5 positions.
Hitboxing.
I think it was a good race,
3,
I agree.
2,
Oh,
1.
here. Damn.
Right here.
It's an interesting car. Like, it takes any sort of abuse. Any abuse. So, if you guys are following, like, my journey this season, I've been racing the M2s. M2 is that... Think about your friend, the pickiest friend you have, right? Let's go out for dinner. And they're gonna say, what do you wanna eat? And it's like, yo, do you wanna go for, like, Chinese food? No. I don't want Chinese food. Do you wanna go, like, for Italian food? No. Not in the mood. Do you want to go like for French food? No, not in the mood.
Wild Slothman.
Right? And then after
said,
15 options...
Would like to see the replay for how that guy that hit you got taken out.
Oh, that was beautiful. He got taken out by himself.
Craig Walder said, it's an easier car to be quick in but tough to be fast in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense to me. So, here he is. 3. So maybe let's see my... where I was here. So this was the car that I... Where's my car? Oh, I'm the red one here. I'm so dumb. Right? Where I am. So I don't have the paint in my car here. So maybe a few laps later. That was me defending. It was this car here. So let's just go to his... It's this car here. Let's go to the far chase. And then we can do this. But anyways, I was saying like the M2 is very picky. Very, very picky. Nothing works. Nothing is good enough, you know. And when we finally decide on the rest, like on the type of food, he wants to pick the restaurant. And he picks the restaurant, but like complains about the food. This car here is the friend that you call like at 2 a.m. saying like, hey, do you want to grab like the junkiest food ever? Like he bumped me here the first time, and I think next corner he bumped again, but he spun. And then when you finally, like you just call them at 2 a.m. and they go with you, and like no questions asked. There we go. Let's see this in real time. It's much more fun. So he was faster like around this corner than I was, so I was defending. And I went on the outside because I want to have a good exit. He bumped me and he spun and he crashed. He lost 2 positions there, 2 positions. I'll save this. It's a good video to have. What else? What is next? Let's see how much. This was the formula. We don't really care that much. And I lost a lot of safety rating here, just like a lot. What should we do next? 10 minutes for this one, 10 minutes for the Mazdas. The problem with the Mazdas are going to be so much like so off pace because people, it's Friday, people have been racing the car the entire week. Let me see what else we have. No, these are too late. Like, not that late. This, like, from here on, it's too late. This one, but it's a long race, like half an hour. Let's do one thing that we don't usually do. So, if I put a poll in the chat, are gonna people like? Let's hear. Help me with the next bad decision. So let's pick 3 here. We can go back to the formulas and try redemption. So FF 1600 redemption at Alton Park. We can also do, let's choose Oval. Legends Oval or mini stock. I'll choose the mini stock because they don't have the same time to practice for any car. Mini stock. Oval at Charlotte. Debut. And what else? What else can you do here? Unranked. We don't have any ranked. Let's see the sports car. What time is M2? Or M2s. Or like M2 at Winton. Can we win again? Vote, vote. The poll is in, like make sure you vote. We have 130 people here. So I hope like we can at least get like 5 votes. 5 votes. More than likes, more than likes. So, what are you guys in the mood? See here.
Craig Walder said, if you're new here and just lurking but like what you see, hit that subscribe button to not miss out next time.
There you go. There you go. If Craig said it, like I cannot say any better. Make sure. I don't think I had any subscribers because there's usually a sound that it makes and shows something on the screen. So M2 Alton. We need more votes. We need more votes. Let's see. And now I've raced both, so that's gonna close today's live stream. So let's pick wisely. Let's pick wisely. In the meantime,
Wild Slothman said, hadn't refreshed since basically start Locanu. I didn't believe the 130 number, but wowzers.
I don't believe either. I don't believe either. I'm just happy I can entertain this amount of people for this long. But yeah, like we also have a Discord server. You have Wild Slothman. I met him in real life during a real race last month in Birmingham, Alabama. Craig has been here for like, I think, Craig and Storm's been out for a while, but I think those are the two kind of oldest members of our community. I haven't seen Jensen yet. I haven't seen Jensen here. Oh no, Jensen was here. Yeah. Jensen was here. I'm looking in the chat. And have a good community. We talked there. We're talking earlier today, like if people were gonna be able to race today, so we could do like hosted session for ourselves. And we need more people to do these things. Both races start at the same time. I
Great
chose
Walter
wisely. I chose wisely.
Said, I think you have the pace in the M2 and the formula whatever race starts first.
So I did make sure to choose the same like start time so I can practice the same amount of time. Ooh, wrong. Clearly wrong. I'm used to Virginia. Different type of like. Really, like just 2 votes. Come on, guys.
You cut that corner and got a slowdown penalty.
This looks like a fun car. Doesn't like curbs. Okay, I couldn't see the corner. Let's avoid a crash. I think it's a good line, right?
You cut the corner.
It's like a late
got to slow down and
apex
give
here.
up that time.
Very late apex. I just can't see the track! It's Virginia, but it's not Virginia that we
You
know.
cut that corner and got a slowdown penalty.
Roberto Pires said, M2 nothing like the handling of a drunk cab. Great Walter said, car looks like a death trap like Uncle Buck lived in his shed.
Yes, yes. And it's awful to drive. I mean, I don't know if it's awful to drive. I just think, I don't know, like, I haven't gotten there yet. I don't think I know the track, like, I don't even know, like, if I'm on track right now. Let this car... Oh, he's coming from the right side, so I'll just stop here. Let's see what this guy can do. So we have... I can't believe it. I can't believe we're just gonna have 2 votes to decide the future of the nation. Okay, I think we're... he's also out.
They say you cut the corner. You'll have to
Okay,
slow down and give up the time
I'll
game.
stop this thing here because it's just bad. Let's go to... I think the formula is gonna have more action. For the purpose of entertainment, I'll do the formula. I'll do the formula. Withdraw. So let's do the formula. I think it's gonna be like the problem with Winton M2s is that we are gonna
Roberto Pires said, no democracy.
It's like 3 people voted,
Craig
and my
Walden
vote's like for Formula 1600. So
Formula pulls the views spoken like a true streamer, haha.
hey, there you go. Maybe that's a thing as well. Let's see. Because I just think like, because it's a Friday like chaos party type of deal. Come on, guys, we need 2 votes in the F1600. Like, if you are like in the fence, doesn't matter. Just vote on the 1600 and the formulas. Otherwise, Roberto's gonna be remind me for the rest of my life that my polls are
Roberto
useless.
Pires said,
Let's
Formula
go.
do it.
If you guys are on your rig and our rookies in Formula, we might be in the same session, so we can race together. We can race together. So goal is to finish close to the pack, not spin 15 times. But we're like handling well, right? I was handling well the car. Oh, come on. Never forget to reduce the force feedback of this car. It's just like so easy to lose your thumbs. So we are not believers in cold tires, so I'm just gonna go what I would do like in a race here, which is being unnecessarily stupid crazy.
Car,
Fast.
just set the fastest lap. 46.3.
Can barely hold the car in a straight line. Oh. I need more force feedback. Okay. Maybe I was too low, like on the force. Now it feels too much. Too little.
Car stop on the right. You got a slow car on the left.
Oh no. He's gonna slow us down. I don't think you know like where to brake here, so. Is he gonna go wide? No. Okay, that means we're diving. We're diving. Watch this. Max Verstappen way.
Left side. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
Yeah, you see, like even the practice here is more entertaining. Is it off track? It is an off track, okay. Can't go that wide there. Thank you. And here we just barely lifted. And I took my glove away to post here that people are live, and now I don't have anywhere to put it on back. Good exit, come on. Our best exit ever, I think. Just let the car slide. Believe it's gonna find its way. Don't do this, okay? Like don't get cocky and overconfident. But I do feel like I need a new rig, guys. I need a new rig.
Slow down. You got a penalty for cutting the course.
I'll have to fix this later. The steering wheel almost came out of my hands right now. And I don't want to force it, like I don't want to force the axis or the shafts, but it's like completely loose. Okay, software input right now. Wasn't faster, so we're not gonna do this again. Can you do like a 146? I think we can. If we stay on track, that's gonna help. That's gonna help. So.
You got a slow car on the right. Slow car ahead.
I just feel like we're significantly faster than we were like in the last session. Are you guys feeling the same thing just because I said it? I jinxed it, sorry guys. Sorry, it's my fault. It's my fault for jinxing it. Completely destroyed Sector 3. Let's not do this again. And even Sector 4 is slow, so... Let's stay humble here, Lon. Let's just stay humble. I don't...
Wild Slowman said, do you run any autocross IRL or just track days?
I haven't been doing like neither. I've been racing like lemons in real life. 2 races so far. Next one is in North Carolina. We're talking about it like earlier today. It's gonna be in April, I believe. And then I'm gonna do like a kart endurance race here in Atlanta in the MP in March. That's what we're having a schedule for March. But I haven't done like any track days or any like autocross. My car is a Tesla, so it's like a pretty boring car to do these things, I think.
Car on. Clear on the right.
And also like you gotta take into consideration charging, because it's gonna consume a lot of battery, like to be like being pushed.
Craig Walder said, Teslas are pretty legit for autocross.
But I was doing some research, and like for autocross media, for track days the problem is like you have to charge multiple times because they consume a lot of battery at high speed. Because you have all the draft and stuff, like, and any like in a Tesla, anything above like 65 miles per hour, the battery drains. It's insane. When I'm traveling, if I wanna hit like the, whatever is telling me the projection of the battery, I have to go below 65
Yeah,
miles.
track day is a different story.
But yeah, for autocross maybe that's a good idea. It's rear wheel drive, which makes it
Slow
fun.
car ahead. Car stopped ahead.
I feel we have the pace, like our optimal lap here is 45.9. All we need is a clean lap, so let's focus on that now. I'll be quiet for a second here. Here, if I can open this up and not lift too much, I can gain some time. Ah, come on. If you didn't crash, it's a maneuver. It's not like loss of control. So, I'll take it. I do think I might be pushing too hard, and I have to shift earlier there. I just realized it. Next lap we're gonna get in like a very good time. Not this one, because this one we're gonna spin and crash. Let's cause as much damage to the track as possible.
Wild Slothman said, Autocross is fine since it's usually a 2-minute run once an hour. Oregon 2. The autocross near us has chargers at their event, going to the next one in 2 weeks for photo practice.
Do you wanna send me the link through Discord? I might do it. Like, and the other thing, like if you autocross, we have like, it's the cones, right? I feel they're gonna have
You cut the cord.
slower
Slow down and give
track
up
as
that
well.
time.
The problem is going like to Road Atlanta, back straight, full gas, like 2 laps, and I have to recharge the car. No, I have to like take this turn better. Yeah, this car hates grass as well, by the way. The Mazda is so much more forgiving. The
You got a slow
GR86,
car on the left. Car
the
stop on the
GR86
left.
is the car I
Go
would buy my
right.
mom to race, because like she can do whatever she wants and still like be successful. But to Craig's point, like it's easy to be quick, but it's not easy to be like to get the most out of it. Let's just go straight because this lap doesn't count anyways.
You cut the cord. You've got to slow down and give up that time.
I don't want the car behind to catch up to us.
Craig Walder said, Autocross is the parking lot races with cones typically around 45-60 second course.
Yeah. Those are good ones. Those are good ones. I can do those, yeah. I'll take a look. If you, Patrick, if you send me like on Discord, I'll take a look if I'll go to this one. I just misfired the downshift there. Brake, turn in, let the car slide, gas early, stay on track. There's just so much time to gain here. In here, I have to turn in earlier as I lift. So turning here, slightly lift, find a grip, trust the car, brake. Now, trust the camber, going against early. Almost like a full second already. So here we have to come to the left and open up as much as we can for a good exit here. Slightly early on the upshifting there. Maybe short shift there. Sacrificed a bit to not get off track that I'm getting all the time here. Now all we have to do is nail the last turn. We did.
You
46.1.
flat for you.
Uh-oh, and wall.
They say you cut the cord. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gain.
Full second faster there. The race is in 4 minutes, so
Craig Walder said, Autocross is a blast. You should definitely give it a try. It's the cheapest and arguably one of the funnest forms of racing.
yeah, like I can definitely add it. Like I think it's a good idea. I've been thinking about track days, but then my car doesn't work for that. I'll have to find
Hello.
someone, share the costs.
Car number.
Like I'm going like much faster just because of this sector right now. My optimal lap is like 45.5. The fastest lap so far is 44.8. So I think we're getting there. I think I feel more like every single time I say this, I do the same thing. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Like it's races in 2 minutes. So let's refresh. Drink some water. You send me. Let's see this together.
Wild Slothman said, "It's nice since you can really push the daily with no consequences. I would run it if my suspension wasn't on the way out."
I mean, no consequences. Like, is there still a chance to crash it? Because I don't want to crash it. So this is March 6th. Do we need like a roll cage for a Tesla? I don't think so, right? It's considered hard top. Okay. Okay. Season pass. Let's take a look at season pass. Sure, make it faster.
Wild Slothman said, "It's a completely open parking lot. All that's needed is a helmet and they have loaners."
Okay.
Craig Walder said, "Chances are never zero, but it's very minimal risk."
That's good to know. I've never done one. So the Saturday started at 7:30, 8:30. Course open for walking. Free for racers. Hit 1. First car off. Hit 1 starts at 9:30. Okay. Hit 2 starts 11. So basically, I have 2 like. We have 2 hits, right? It's like maybe a 10. Like for how long do you race like in the day? Or can you do like the 4 hits like? I actually know more. Registrations are 124 for Novi Student, 74 for fun runs, 52 points event. Required weekend shirts. How much the membership? So this is like the entire year. So Novice points 2. Okay, women's and then like points in March. So if you do 4 points, they have like
Wild
a monthly, right?
Slothman
Monthly.
said, "Also an event on the 22nd. It's 4 heats, I believe, 2 per day." Craig Walder said, "The worst part is you typically have to work the course for 1 session and chase cones."
Okay. So they charge us and they make us like chase cones? Can I pay them not to chase cones? Membership. How much is the membership? National, it's $85. Region, 10 to 20, so $100 everything. I might just pay like the 25 this time. I'll think about it. I think it's good. Like it would be fun to do it. And I can probably like live stream from my car, which would be fun as well.
Craig Walder said, "My home club, they do offer to pay to not chase cones, but most places don't have that option."
Oh, I'll pay. I'll pay the full $50 again, just not to chase cones. But again, like it feels like after the meeting it starts, you have more off time than like up time. So maybe chasing cones keep you like entertained, right? You make friends, I can complain about life, all that good stuff. Have you guys watched the video yet? Like the video I launched today or released today? Let me see here. I think that was a good video. It's so funny, like, to watch yourself.
Wild Slothman said, "I'll prob post pics from the event in the Discord if they turn out decent."
What do you mean they turn out decent? The last one you did, like, they were amazing. Yeah, I'm trying to find here. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah. So, can we do a fast lap without destroying the car? Or going off track?
Craig Walter said, "I watched it earlier. I wish more people had the same mindset about IR. Most people will kill you to gain a spot for 7 IR."
And yeah, and it is like, it's pointless. Like if I want to like go 3K in iRating, I can do this like this week. All I have to do is come here, find like the sessions that nobody's joining, that only like early rookies are joining, you know, like the times that people aren't showing up. And you come here, like let's say them choose. I'll go to them choose. I'll come to the insights. And like, okay, let me see here. This time of the day, right now, during the week, super low ratings. She was like, I can just come here and race every single day here. Like 3-4 races in a row.
Wild Slothman
Farmer rating. It's
said,
meaningless.
"For Lemons, I took 700 photos over the weekend. About 60 turned out decent with editing, maybe 10 that I would consider pretty good."
That's only because you have super high standards for yourself. Which is an amazing trait. But I can guarantee that if I was looking through the 700 photos, I can find like 300 that were good. But I also feel like you had to do like a lot of, maybe cars were faster there as well, and you'd really have to drive around to find good like picture spots, right? Which in autocross, I think it should be easier to walk around. Let's use a session. Maybe if I go like softer, smoother on the throttle, it's gonna yield like a better result there. This is what I have to avoid in a fast lap.
Green, green, green.
I'm stake pushing, like just going wide on a straight. Okay, let's see if we can do like a 46,
Okay,
like
here comes
low.
your first time lap.
Too late on the gas, too late on the gas. So this is gonna be trash. This is gonna be trash. Can you believe it? I don't even know like which side I should go now.
You're going the wrong way.
Maybe I'm pushing too hard. Maybe I should like focus on going smoother. rather than like muscling the car. Let's use this mindset for the rest of this lap here. Focus on smoother lines. Even if that means like we're gonna be slower, at least you have a decent like a time on the board. Otherwise we're gonna start like last. Just be smooth. Yeah, I have to have a better input like in that middle sector there. Let's focus on a very nice and good exit here. It feels like I'm joking, right? How much time do we have? 3 minutes. I don't have time to go all the way around, so we're gonna do this.
You're going the wrong way.
Because I have to carry as much speed as I can.
One more lap.
Earlier on the brake, let's just let the car slide. Early on the gas, bring it straight. Smooth, smooth. Let's go early on the brake here as well. Last slide, yes. Hold, 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 hold. Good exit. Almost spun there, almost spun. Here we turn and lift. Feel the car, feel the grip. Brakes. Muscle the car in. Gas. And this is one I can go like a little bit earlier on the brakes as well. Ah!
Said. Underdriving is faster than overdriving, Jensen, I think.
Just I think. Okay, let's start last. Let's just start last. I'm telling, like, this is much more entertaining. That was like a hair length. No, it wasn't. Like, hey, what did I have in mind here? It was dumb, right? I slowed down too much. Too much on the, like, too early on the gas here as well. Pushing to do a fast lap twice resulted in no fast laps at all. So that's the lesson learned we have. That's what we're gonna keep in mind during the race. I think my bottle just broke. No, it didn't break. All I have to do here is...
Jensen Bait WM. Said. Haha.
Jensen's here. I didn't know you were still here. When are you gonna do the testing for them, Jensen? I remember it was like this week, and you had the week to practice. Did it happen already? And if you guys don't know, like Jensen, we met Jensen maybe 2 weeks ago, while racing Charlotte. He was cooking it. Like we raced together maybe like 10 times. He won 10 times, like hands down. He wasn't even bothered by other drivers.
Jensen Bait WM. Said. Oval would be funny. Wild Slothman. Said. Driving is faster than bad driving, Genghis Khan perchance.
Yeah. 4 people have times on the board.
The estimated
We could
speed
have
to the
been
field is
P3
1,362.
with a slow lap. Like if I had like not pushed
A
at all,
lot
it
of
would be
opportunities
P3.
today. Head down. Pick the battle.
Does anyone know how to start? Like how to
Still waiting on 2 cars to grid.
do like a standing start of this car? I'm gonna try to have like the revs around like the blue here. Not here. Right here. 29%. 6%, okay.
Jensen Bait W.
Waiting on the final
Sure,
car to
sure.
grid.
Said,
Good luck.
60% throttle. Craig Walder. Said, probably something fancy with the clutch.
Green, green, green.
60%. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to know the smart people and put them in the same room as you are. Okay, thank you. That is the wrong racing line, by the way. Let's see how many people are gonna spin here, or just us.
Car right. Still there. Clear.
I had to go on the brakes here, otherwise I wouldn't turn in. We are up for super bad rejoin there. Okay, just stay on the freaking track a lot. That's your goal. You're not chasing time
There's
here.
an incident ahead.
We're up to P5 already. Just stay on track. So our challenge is to not get carried away here. But I can see the force. You know what? There is no fun if we're not pushing. So, for you guys, for the chat, for my viewers, for your families, your kids, your parents, uncles and sisters. We're just gonna go crazy.
You're in fifth. 10 minutes to go.
It was a very bad exit there.
Wild Slothman.
Another bad exit.
Said,
The car behind's gonna
bro,
pass.
just finished the race, no need to push
Left
super
side.
hard, more fun to watch a battle.
Still there.
Like to watch a battle, we have to be battling, right? That's how you
Clear.
focus.
There's an incident ahead. Slow car ahead. Go left. Right side.
Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid.
Still there.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay, we're down to P5 now. So let's see if they're gonna meet each other somewhere.
Right side. Clear on the right.
He just came in front of me. What are you doing? Go, 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 go. Don't be that slow, bro. Like, I'm trying to come back here. I tried to avoid a crash, and then I was on the grass, and that was not a good feeling. Okay, now the challenge is coming from behind.
Car right. Still there. Clear on the right.
I'm gonna go here, and just try to have a better exit. And we go for the dive.
Right side. Still there. Hold your line. Clear.
Good defending. But if you don't have the pace, but you should have the pace. So The problem, like these cars, have to be very cautious to not like overlap wheels. And because we destroyed this race already a couple times, I don't have like any crashes, so locked in the left wheel.
Slow car ahead. Car stop on the left. Go right. There's an
No
incident
battery
ahead.
joints, no battery joints, no battery joints. Okay. That was close. If I had done like nothing, I would be like in P2, P3 now. Because I feel like 100 people read like...
Slow car ahead. Car stopped ahead.
I'm telling you, there's no effort. Let's go in the inner line here. Let's use this line. Brakes here, third gear. Let's try to go on the gas as hard as we can. Hold the car, hold the car, hold the car. Let's put this. So we're gonna like overtake the green car very soon. Like right
The
now.
car in P2. Just set the fastest lap.
Don't do anything silly, bro.
45.905.
The car
on
in
your
front
left.
is pulling away.
That was your fastest lap of the session. The car in P4.
We just did a
set the
45.8.
fastest lap. 45.8.
Oh no, 47 points.
You're
Okay.
back in fifth.
That's not me. Gotcha, that's the car in front of us.
There's an
Oh, he
incident
spun.
ahead. The car in front. has
No!
gone off.
Okay.
Go right.
He just did like the fastest lap of the race. Everybody's pushing here. And now he's back like at the back of the pack, so our goal right now is no crashes, no off tracks. Can we commit? Can we commit to that? 5 minutes to go. The car ahead's a lifetime ahead of us, so the car ahead's almost 10 seconds ahead. And like faster than we are. The car behind is
5
slower
minutes
than
to
we
go.
are and it's much behind. So let's just focus on bringing this car back home, hoping for a few more spins, crashes. And we can definitely bring the P4 home.
That was your fastest lap of the session. You're in fourth position.
We were a tenth faster than the car in front of us. We just need 900 laps to get there. So if we keep this pace, 97 laps from now, we're gonna catch up to him. So there's really no reason to push extra. How about the car behind? Car behind is 6 seconds, 3 seconds off pace. I'm seeing people ahead of me, so we're gonna see a car who's a lap down.
Slow car ahead.
He probably spun or crashed because the delta is just dropping. And we're gonna catch up to him like in this lap, I think.
New fast flat for you.
For 6.5, not bad. Ah, don't crash, just don't crash, just don't crash. You crash. Are we toast? We are toast. Oh, there's no power.
Your car has too much damage, we've got to fix it.
Deserve, right? We deserve this. We deserve this.
The car behind is closing on you. The gap is 8.5.
Like, I probably don't have a wheel, like just how the car is behaving. But out of pride, I'm gonna bring the car back home. Just out of pride. Should I do this chicane? No, right? But I'll do it. Man, don't get this close. Like, you see a car that's broken all the way to the right, just doing his. Can you guys? Can you hear? Ah! I'm shaking because of the wheel.
The car in P1 just set the fastest lap. 45.787. Car 3 is up the front.
Okay. We could have been before here, easily. Easily. Very much on track for that. And the problem is I do have to fix the car. Too fast. So I feel like if we're at 80, 90, doesn't shake as much. Or if we're really... Like here doesn't shake as much. If I go like any faster than this, it's gonna shake a lot. And there's no one around, that's why I'm like weaving to see if it stops.
You just got the white flag. That means one more lap to go. Pitboxing, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Okay. That was a fun race. Don't change anything. Don't refuel. Just fix the car. We're down to P something here, I don't know. Should be a fast repair. I think the race is over.
Okay, punch it.
Depending on the finish line is, we have one more lap, so...
Thanks for not getting out of the way, car 7. Or, yeah, car 7.
Let's go on our final lap. We went here and I think we touched the grass here in Spawn. I'm disappointed with myself. But hey, that's what Fridays are about, right? So as we're doing the final lap, plan is tomorrow to race around like the same time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we're gonna be practicing Okayama and likely a race or two races at Winton. I released a video today. We should have another video coming out on Monday, and then I'm gonna do like Mondays and Fridays from now on. So stay tuned for that. If there's something you wanna hear me talking about, hear my thoughts, opinions, or just a video about it, let me know. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, join our Discord server if you wish. I can't have like a single lap myself. Let's finish reverse. Challenge now is finishing reverse. Let's do the challenge of finishing reverse. Can we finish reverse? No, not even that we can do. So we're gonna be racing the M2s. This was our 4th coaching session. If you wanna see the other 3, they are on YouTube. There is a playlist called live coaching session or something like that. All with Gianni. We finished P9. Not bad, right?
All right, there's the checkered flag.
Our best lap was 46.
Nice run. Solid work.
And that's pretty much it, guys. That's it for today. I think it was a good race. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun as well. Tomorrow we're gonna be here, Okayama, practicing the things we discussed with our coach today. And then we're gonna go to Winton to race a few, like maybe 1 or 2 races. Sunday again. Monday we start Okayama for real. And start working on Summit Point. As always, really appreciate the audience. Really appreciate you guys joining, staying here until the end. If you haven't yet, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel.